This way, please. The two guys watching this scene cannot believe what they're seeing. Oh my god, even the executive chief is being nice to him. Who the hell is this guy anyway? Led into a strange room, Han Xiao's eyes go wide. It finally clicks in his head. This was the man who wanted to see him all along. It is none other than Old Man Cao, and he has been waiting all afternoon. Surprised, Han Xiao does not blink. He's already planning his next move. Does this old geezer really think I do not know who he is? Watch my Oscar-winning acting skills right here. He pulls down his mask, keeping his face totally blank. Who exactly are you supposed to be? Old Man Cao is a real fox. He keeps his cool and does not reveal a thing. Relax. Just know I am the one who pulls the strings at Division 13. He slowly crushes his cigarette, looking ready to settle the score. Talk to me. How do you want to handle this? Han Xiao doesn't hold back and gets straight to the point. I just want some serious payback. Feng Han finds that hilarious. You made good money off those maps, and I already suspended the guy. Isn't that enough? He snaps, slams his hand on the desk, and delivers the ultimate shutdown line. If you hadn't jacked my maps, that money would be mine anyway. This isn't a bonus, it's my paycheck. Do you call this compensation? Gu Hai stands there completely frozen. Her face goes totally numb. He doesn't stop and keeps pushing his advantage. If you just bought them from me, maybe I'd have cooperated. But did you ask Feng Han is getting schooled by a kid? Gui has to jump in to cool things down. Fine, tell us what you want, he immediately replies. I hope we don't see a repeat of this drama. Cao Jia agrees it sounds fair to him, but he's not finished. He rests his chin on his hand, thinking for a second, then speaks. Now Han Xiao is basically dancing with wolves. He boldly demands high-tier perks, specifically wanting to see advanced mechanical engineering knowledge. Cao Jia goes silent, and a heavy tension suddenly fills every corner of the room. He holds his breath, waiting for a reaction. This is his one big shot to get ahead. Advanced info from the Six Nations isn't for rookies. Only the most loyal inner circle get a peek. Starlight Dragon's advanced knowledge is strictly classified. You need level 5 clearance or you are out of luck. Han Xiao gripped his hands tight, already planning his exit. This was it, one shot or a long, painful grind. Old Man Cao glared at him, scanning for a flinch. Finally, the old guy caved and gave in. Fine, I am in. Those words stunned him, but Feng Han, yeah, the guy totally flipped out. Hold up. Advanced intel is for level 5 staff only. This is against every single rule in the book. Cao had a plan. He just wants a peek. Right, give him 1 hour. Han Xiao finally scored big. Soon they were all heading deep underground into Division 13's secret vault, packed with high-tech gear. Cao stared at the massive server tower, looking like a proud dad showing off his brand new ride. This is the main frame. I've already cleared the back end so you can access the data. Gu Hai stood there like a boss. We are watching the logs. No funny business. You have 1 hour. Time was not an issue anymore. 1 hour, please. With enough potential points, this is a total breeze. It only takes a minute. He stepped up to the server while the agents backed off to watch. After a quick scan, the screen lit up with all that sweet, sweet advanced knowledge he needed. Han Xiao's heart raced. Found it. The advanced tech for the weapons branch he was looking for. Starlight Dragon only had one mechanical branch, but for him, that was plenty. The system finally pinged. Found advanced mechanical materials. Spend 2 potential points to learn. Han Xiao did not blink. He hit confirm. The screen showed a loading bar. Learning in progress. He stood there keeping his cool for a bit. Then the notification popped. Success. You have mastered advanced material synthesis. Mission accomplished for the young mechanic. Right after that, the system dropped the class change options for him. Basic mechanic requirements met. Choose your path. Mechanic mage. Mechanic, or a powerful mechanical warrior. Path confirmed, stats updated, success. You are now a level 1 mechanic apprentice with new skills. Strength plus 30, agility plus 1, endurance plus 1, and intelligence plus 3 points. Plus 3 attribute points and 1 potential point. Electricity surged through him. He felt absolutely invincible right now. The system kept rolling out the new mechanic skills that he had just unlocked. Strength stats shifted. You have now acquired the rare geometric thinking talent for your build. You learned strength refinement. You also picked up the intermediate machine interaction skill too. You learned rapid fire and platinum alloy. Gu Hui watched him, looking totally confused by his reaction. What is he grinning at? Han Xiao was off in his own world, basking in the wind. The system warned him the road ahead was long. Current status grade E, superpowered being. You have finally left the normal world behind, but you are still miles from reaching true cosmic power. By the time he got back to the slums, the sun was high and scorching the ground. Sparks danced on his fingers. The biggest change was that new mechanical strength attribute he just gained. Energy is the foundation for every superpowered human. With this refinement method, leveling up is going to be way faster. The system kept updating his status. 1 refinement session done. 81% perfection. Strength plus 3. Han Xiao sat and meditated. Too bad training burns experience and stamina. I still need to focus on building new machines. I can only train twice a day, max. Suddenly his phone buzzed right next to him. He checked the screen. A text from Yalin Captain is out of the hospital. Meeting now. Over at the Secret Service office, Clutter leaned back against the glass. No more gear from Han Xiao. Even after getting rejected, he tried to play it cool with a smug smirk on his face. Whatever he is, just a mechanic. I can buy anyone I want if the price is right. But when the staff ignored him, Clutter's face soured. Am I wrong or what? Answer me. Then Han Xiao walked in cool as ice. Everyone turned to look as he headed inside the office. Yalin was waiting for him. Jiang Wei stood in the corner looking annoyed and very unfriendly. Seeing the vibe is totally off. Lin Yao jumps in to break the ice. Hey, meet our captain. Technically, the captain has the final say on new recruits. He leans in and whispers into Han Xiao's ear. But since the bureau cleared you while the boss was out healing, he is acting a bit salty about it. He is annoyed but do not sweat it. He is strict, but deep down he is a good guy. Jiang Wei grabs a tangerine, clears his throat with a couple coughs and starts peeling it. Let me introduce myself. I am the captain of this squad, Jiang Wei. Hearing that name, Han Xiao keeps a straight face while thinking to himself, man, what a generic name. Jiang Wei glares at him with pure suspicion, his tone blunt as hell. With you, we finally hit our 5-man limit. Your job is logistics, but let me be real. Your resume is basically a blank page right now. I do not trust your skills at all. He pops a slice of fruit in his mouth, frowning like he is in a war zone. I do not care what kind of paperwork the higher-ups sent over. If I think you suck, my stance stays the same. He tosses the peel aside as his voice drops into a warning. I do not care who approved your arrival. I will kick you off this squad myself. Before heading out, he gives Han Xiao one last look, sizing him up from head to toe. Ugh, typical corrupt elites. The Secret Service is just handing out backdoor passes now. They clearly do not give a damn about our safety. Realizing he is not exactly a fan favorite, Han Xiao sighs to himself. Great. Now everyone thinks I'm some spoiled brat with a golden ticket. Suddenly an alert pings. Lin Yao rushes over to check the screen. Wait, what? We have got incoming news. He taps some keys and shouts, Mission is live. Command wants us moving right now. Jiang Wei spins around demanding the full brief immediately. On command, Lin Yao stares at the monitor and reads out the urgent details flashing on the screen. Ma Qingyang's squad got jumped while raiding the germinal base. High Command wants us to go in for the rescue right now. The Special Ops team does not hesitate for a second. Lin Yao shoves gear into his pack. We will talk details on the flight. But Jiang Wei cuts him off. Lin Yao, stay back and handle logistics. Han Xiao, you are the rookie. Tag along and learn something. Both of them freeze. Jiang Wei continues with a grim look. This is a rare opportunity, kid. Prove you are actually useful to us for once. Han Xiao does not argue. He just steps forward and agrees. Fine by me. Lin Yao is shocked by the casual vibe. He suddenly puts a hand on Yalin's shoulder to stop her. Hold up. Han Xiao pulls out his brand new gear to show the team. Consider this a little friendship donation from me. She looks at it like she found gold. Is this your new invention? He nods with a smirk. Yeah, try not to waste it. No more stalling. The team moves out. Meanwhile, at the base, the system updates with a brand new mission alert for Han Xiao. Support mission activated. Objective: rescue the secret squad under heavy fire. Your job is to help your teammates finish the mission alive. Requirement: successfully extract Ma Qingyang's entire Special Forces team. Reward: 8,000 experience points. Special bonus: none. Lin Yao, probably worried about Han Xiao's feelings, tries to comfort him. Hey Xiao, the cap is not out to get you. Do not take it personally. Han Xiao just sits there listening and nodding. Yeah, I know. Elsewhere, a military convoy tears through the desert heat. Engines roar as they leave a massive trail of dust in the wind. They are racing bumper to bumper, desperate to stay on track. Qingyang looks out the window, his face full of dread. The enemy convoy is getting bigger by the second. He snaps, where the hell are our reinforcements? Right as he says it, a helicopter appears in the sky. Jiang Wei leads the special ops team as they dive down. They hit the ground safely, and he shouts to Qingyang, hang in there, old man. Pulling back his helmet, Jiang Wei gives a serious report over the comms. We have arrived. On site now. The entire squad raises their rifles, ready to take on the incoming convoy head-on. Jiang Wei's voice echoes back at the team headquarters through the radio link as he confirms they are finally in position. Rescue team is 30 kilometers out. Enemy force includes 15 armored off-road vehicles and 1 Black Hawk helicopter. Watching the drone feed, Lin Yao maps out the strategy. Rendezvous point is a hill 3 kilometers from your current spot. Your mission is to ambush the chasers and cover the squad. I have sent the coordinates. Get ready to move. Han Xiao stands by to observe, but inside his mind is totally blown by what he sees. A prototype combat suit? One of the original power armors from Planet Aquamarine, version 1.0? I did not expect to see something this cool. Jiang Wei nods, satisfied with the plan. Copy that. He barks an order for the entire squad to lock and load. Across the burning sand, the enemy armored trucks are screaming toward them. Jiang Wei locks onto the target and signals the team to open fire. Before long, the whole area was choked with thick dust and the rhythm of falling bombs. One vehicle got caught in the crosshairs after being ambushed. Jiang Wei hunkered down behind a nearby rock, gripping his sniper rifle tightly. A barrage of hits sent the vehicle into a tailspin. Rambus locked onto his target and waited for the perfect shot. One bang and a tire shredded into pieces. The car flipped out of control and slammed into a nearby ride, causing both to explode into flames. But they only managed to take out a few of them. The rest were glued to his bumper. He checked the rearview mirror, saw the backup finally arriving, and yanked the wheel to hide behind a massive boulder. Seeing the rescue team arrive, Than Duong let out a grin and sighed. About time you guys showed up. He even tossed out a quick warning. Old Jang, it's a mosh pit out there. We gotta bail. Out of nowhere, Hila appeared in a chopper overhead. Jiang Wei looked up, felt a chill down his spine, and screamed at the top of his lungs. Get down now! Right as he yelled, an explosion rocked the ground, sending him sliding across the dirt to avoid the blast. Once the dust settled, he scrambled back up and scanned the wreckage to see who was still standing. The guys who took the hit were just screaming in pain. It looked like a total nightmare out there. Jiang Wei saw the bodies piled up and realized the truth. Psychic attack. They have got a meta-human on the field. Up in the bird, Hila was spamming her powers. Both Lin Yao and Han Xiao looked like they had seen a ghost. Han Xiao could not just sit there, so he ripped the headset right off Lin Yao's ears. He jumped on the mic to remind her who she was. That voice cut through the chaos, telling her to move. Jiang Wei snapped, asking what he was doing. But the confusion hit him before he could even finish the sentence. Yalin got the message and gave a nod. Just then, Hila came crashing down right in front of them. She went toe-to-toe with Yalin. Hila narrowed her eyes and threw a heavy kick that nearly broke through her guard. Not about to be some punching bag, Yalin threw her own leg up to counter the strike. She launched a high-powered kick, but Hila slipped it easily. She thought, wait, is she a martial arts master? They traded blows like crazy. Hila was locked in, and the second she saw a gap, she landed a face-shattering punch that made Yalin spit blood. Blood sprayed across the dirt. She wiped her mouth, trying to ignore the stinging pain and stay focused. She realized the power gap was huge. Getting in close was not working, and at this rate she would be toast. This fight was getting ugly fast. Yalin was breathing hard, just trying to keep up with Hila's relentless speed. She threw a desperate punch, but Hila swatted it away like a fly. Because of the power gap, Yalin was beaten and bruised, signaling Han Xiao to find a way out. On the other end, everyone was staring at the signal on the computer. Han Xiao quickly barked an order to find an opening for the mechanical arm. The enemy is going to slip up for 1 second. That is when Rambus needs to take the shot. Following the lead, Yalin fired up her power arm and reached out into the empty air. Glowing blue energy ribbons swirled around her fist, charging up for one massive bone-crushing strike against the enemy. Meanwhile, Rambus and the squad found their perch. He propped the sniper on his shoulder and held his breath. Hila was too busy gloating to notice the laser on her. Then she saw something that stopped her heart. Yalin was right there with that mechanical arm glowing, just waiting to delete her from the fight, caught completely off guard. Hila took the punch full on. She glared at the girl. Spotted the mechanical arm and snapped, "What is your connection to Zero?" Yalin just gave her a blank stare. Who is Zero? Never heard of him. While she was distracted, Rambus raised his rifle. She finally noticed something was wrong, but her reaction was too slow and she took the bullet right in the chest. The ground shook from the force as Hila was sent flying backward like she had been hit by a truck. They were winning, but Han Xiao suddenly called for a retreat. Jiang Wei grabbed Yalin and get out now. Jiang Wei did not ask questions and followed the order immediately. Roger that. He hauled Yalin up, told her to hang on, and threw her over his shoulder. Someone yelled, "Get in the truck now!" The crew helped them climb into the back. Jiang Wei hung back for a second, turning to assess the situation. Their armor is too slow and their psychic is down for the count. They will not be following us today. He looked at the trucks ahead and knew if they made it to the plane, they were golden. Once everyone was strapped in, Jiang Wei pulled off his helmet and let out a breath. We made it. Suddenly, Han Xiao barks a warning from the other end that catches him off guard. Watch the sky. Back at base, he's also reporting that the enemy still has one chopper left. The car floors it after the report comes in, but the enemy helicopter is right on their tail, closing the gap fast. Missiles rain down from the chopper, turning the ground into massive explosions. Dirt and debris are flying everywhere in a total mess. The car almost flies off a cliff. Jiang Wei shouts, "Rambus, hit it with the cable, do it now!" He reports back, stressed out, "I am out of armor-piercing rounds. Regular bullets won't even scratch the plating on this thing." Jiang Wei is losing hope, wondering if this is where they die. Meanwhile, the enemy is locking onto their vehicle. Suddenly, Han Xiao pipes up, "Did you guys seriously forget that gift I gave you?" In this do-or-die moment, they start digging it out. What is this even for? They hold up the high-fuel round confused. Han Xiao shrugs. Give it a shot and find out. At this point, they have no other choice. Rambus lines up the shot, aiming perfectly to take that helicopter out of the sky. The moment they fire, the enemy retaliates, aiming straight for their wheels. One tire takes a hit and starts shredding sparks and rubber flying everywhere in a loud mess. Both sides are looking wrecked. Fire and thick smoke are choking the air as the vehicles fall apart. Zhang Wei checks the scene and reports the enemy chopper got spooked and ran. Han Xiao coldly pulls off his headset and gives the order. Our bird is inbound, retreat. On the other end, they are dying to know what kind of bullets those were. It actually burned through armor. Where on earth did you get such high-quality gear, man? After the mission, the system dings. Rescue complete. You earned 8,000 experience points and 100 favor with the Star Dragon Defense Agency. From a distance, Gila has been watching the whole show. She makes a call to the boss. I found Zero's location. Battle's over and everyone heads back to HQ. Lin Yao can't stop gushing about how insane Han Xiao's skills are. And you are a beast. He just gives a cold look, just now noticing. While they are talking, Zhang Wei clears his throat and cuts in. Turns out after seeing that leadership, he feels like a total jerk. I'm sorry for doubting what you could do earlier. Without your new weapons and your lead, we would be toast right now. Han Xiao just stares, staying quiet. Zhang Wei holds out his hand like a man. As captain, I am officially inviting you. Welcome to the squad, Han Xiao. Han Xiao doesn't bother with the drama. No need to apologize for small stuff like that. He shakes the man's hand. After all, I am a pretty forgiving guy, right? The words sound normal, but there is an edge to them. Zhang Wei feels a bit uneasy. Is he being sarcastic? Suddenly, someone shouts from the door. Oh, everyone is here, huh? Zhang Wei sees the guy and jokes, don't you have your own squad? What are you doing over here? It turns out the guy interrupting them is Qing Yang. After getting teased, he awkwardly rubs his head and admits he's there to buy some of those bullets. Zhang Wei thinks this is a great business opportunity and starts whispering to the kid. What do you think, Han? Let's take him for everything he's got. Han Xiao doesn't hold back and drops the price right then and there. Sure thing, $50 a round. Once he hears the price, Qing Yang doesn't even hesitate, before deciding to place the order right away. I will take 200, 20 for pistols and 150 for submachine guns, and 30 sniper rounds. Han Xiao sees he has the stock. One day and you can come pick them up. Yalin slaps him on the back hard. I'll be your hype woman and bring in the business, so give me a discount. He sighs. Fine, I can do 20% off, no more than that. After checking his inventory, Han Xiao starts calculating the real value of the gear he just crafted. These bullets are a gold mine. Plus, crafting them earns experience. No more worrying about cash for a while. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the base, Luo Xuan is messing with something. He's holding a bullet just like Han Xiao's looking at it closely. The minister banned research on high incendiary rounds. Whatever. He is just scared of Han Xiao's potential. Luo Xuan looks at the bullet. I'll crack this and impress the higher-ups. He grins. I will build these in secret far away from Western capital. Han Xiao is finished. He starts prying the casing apart to look inside. Time to study the components. He puts the bullet head under the cutter to begin the breakdown. Luo Xuan is still daydreaming about success. When this works, those bosses will finally see how valuable I really am. Suddenly, he notices something is wrong. He freezes, but it is already too late. The room he is in suddenly explodes and massive flames begin to roar through the workshop area. People outside start screaming about the fire. After getting the report, Feng Han and Gu Hui immediately rush to the scene. Feng Han screams, "What the hell are you doing?" Through the thick black smoke rising from the ground, a pair of weak hands appear. It is La Huyan, barely clinging to life. This dude used to be a total heartthrob, but the explosion left him covered in soot and completely bald because his hair burned right off. La Huyan starts sobbing like a baby. As the smoke finally clears, the wreckage of those high-temperature rounds is revealed scattered all across the floor. Gu Hai snaps in a rage. How dare your man try to analyze high-fire bullets like that? While the soldiers scramble to put out the flames, Gu Hui just stands there like ice. Start explaining. Now. Feng Han finally gets it and starts stammering with excuses. I had no idea. He did this all on his own. Covered in soot with a pathetic bald head, La Huyan stares at them, but Gu Hui is not having it. Anything to say for yourself? Then comes the cold blow. You are part of the logistics department, right? Pack your bags. You are going back. The room goes silent except for the sound of bullet casings hitting the floor. Moments later in another office, someone lets out a shocked gasp. What? Gita rushes in after getting the news. You mean they will not sell us the high-temperature ammunition anymore? Back in the office, Nyalum remembers exactly what Han Xiao warned her about. Han Xiao was clear. You are on his blacklist. No trading, no deals, and he does not want to hear your apologies either. Realizing he is blocked, he starts begging other buyers. GTR corners Yinfa, saying, Hey man, sell me the rounds you just bought. I will give you 200 each. Yinfa awkwardly pulls his hand away and shuts him down. No way, I am not selling. He sighs and explains, Look, just give up. Making Han Xiao angry just to help you out is definitely not worth the trouble. Plus, he might have even better gear soon. Exposed and embarrassed, Guterres shuts his mouth and stays quiet. Over at the logistics department, everyone is whispering. Turns out La Huyan got transferred and is busy packing up his stuff to leave. He mulls it over as he walks. After thinking it through, he lets out a heavy sigh of regret. Man, I am still so green. Night falls over the germinal base. Inside, Golden Hair stands respectfully waiting for his orders to be handed down. Across from him, Grey Wolf notes that the Star Dragon Special Ops gear looks suspiciously like Zero's mechanical power arm. The secret base was wiped out by Star Dragon. Zero is the only suspect, but there is no way someone with his low clearance could access those top secret files. That old threat keeps echoing in his head. I'm going to destroy every single one of you. He shakes with pure rage just thinking about it. Who is this guy? Finally, he snaps, pass down my orders immediately. Recruit some outsiders to infiltrate Star Dragon and track Zero down. If they find even a single clue about his location, send Nosa to take care of him. That night, the Star Dragon agents arrange a car to drop Han Xiao back at his shop. Before leaving, Feng Jun gives him a friendly heads up. The Germinal spies hiding in the western capital are finally making their move. They are hunting for you. It seems they know you are working with us now. Han Xiao just shrugs. Yeah, I saw that coming. To protect a talent like Han Xiao, they're taking zero chances. He reassures him. Relax, we have got plenty of men stationed right nearby. We are watching 24/7. Once they are in the car, Han Xiao adds, get me 2 Wild Eagle pistols from the bureau stash. He nods quickly. You got it. As the agency car pulls away, Han Xiao is already lost in his own thoughts. Whatever is coming is coming. I am ready for it. Meanwhile, the midday heat bakes the quiet streets of the residential district. Inside the house, Han Xiao is locked in, totally focused on his research at the workbench. Machinery hums and moves under his expert control. A few moments later, a notification suddenly pops up on his system interface. You have successfully researched platinum alloy. Han Xiao checks the results with a grin. The quality is solid. Guess that money for raw ores was not a waste. Satisfied, he reaches out and casually shuts down the manufacturing equipment for now, but his eyes stay glued to the sleek new weapon sitting in his hands. The system flashes an update. Platinum folding blade green quality. It features shock resistance and uses a platinum alloy blend for maximum durability. Note, this blade can even double as a shield. Just then his phone pings. It is a new message from the squad on the screen. Those Wild Eagle pistols you asked for are here. They're waiting for you at your team's headquarters. Down at the training hall, Han Xiao shows up with the new gear. One of his teammates practically jumps with excitement. Is this the upgraded blade? Let me take it for a spin. Nyalam grabs the platinum blade, and with one clean strike, she slices through a metal pipe like it is nothing. Blown away by how smooth it felt, she looks over at Han Xiao and gives him a huge thumbs up. Damn, this thing cuts like butter. It is way more powerful than the old version. But he is not even listening to her. He is too busy testing his newly crafted firearm. No doubt about it, the Wild Eagle packs a serious punch. She leans in close, clearly obsessed with the new weapon. Honestly, I do not even want to give this back to you now. Next time, make one for me, okay? You basically had to cave and agree. Fine, next time for sure. Back in his room, Han Xiao kicked back and figured these weapons were finally enough to handle those Germinal assassins. While he was overthinking things, the system pinged a progress update. 90% perfection and power level 4. Han Xiao's eyes went wide and he couldn't even begin to hide his shock. He felt a massive, undeniable surge of inner power the second the system officially announced his level up. The info panel switched tabs. Stats started popping up. Level 4. Mechanic Apprentice. Total. Level 24. Combat. Power. 160. Han Xiao felt a massive energy boost and started crunching numbers. Based on how fast things are moving by the time the open beta drops, I will be way ahead of those first wave players. Suddenly, the system interface shifted. It started nagging him to kick off the trial run immediately. Data sync complete, 12-day trial period. Han Xiao stared at the new objective, totally caught off guard. A trial run? He started picking the whole situation apart. Looks like this test is for a small group, and it is hitting a week before the actual open beta starts. 1 day in the real world equals 6 days in the game. Doing the math, that means we are over 40 days ahead of the public launch in-game time. He unconsciously touched the virtual screen showing the 134-day countdown until the public beta. Something felt seriously off, and Han Xiao started sweating bullets. Is it possible that real-world time and game time are totally disconnected before the actual players start showing up in the world? Oh, right. It didn't take him very long to wrap his head around how this reality actually worked. Every real-world update only takes 2 or 3 days, but years pass inside the world of Galaxy during that time. He thought it over and realized it wasn't really a huge deal. Han Xiao breathed a sigh of relief. If this was true, every update gave him way more time to level up than the players. Outside, the moon rose over the sleeping city. He walked to the window staring at the moon with a weird gut feeling. I mean, should I be worried about my character's actual lifespan or something? Suddenly, a notification on the side screen caught Han Xiao's eye. The system showed a new server alert. NPC template functions unlocked and the player forums are now officially open. He had no clue what that meant, and a million questions. There was zero info on the NPC function. Seeing the potential for data mining with an account, Han Xiao clicked on the tab. Maybe I can actually try registering for the player forum. While the system checked for a neural link in the gaming pod, it flagged that non-players couldn't sign up. He started breaking down the situation again. Right. Only players physically in a gaming pod can post on the official forums. Looks like I'm locked out of getting an account for now. Han Xiao stretched, feeling wiped out after a long day of digging. He reminded himself that once players arrived, he had to find a way to get in with them. Before long, everything went dead quiet. The next day in a high-end office building, a new guy was busy studying the game. He finished setting up his character with the ID frenzied sword and hit the start button. Character creation complete. Race, carbon-based human. Based on your stats, you have been assigned to the starter planet Aquamarine. Just like that, the rookie named Frenzied Sword was ready for action. The system kept updating as it randomly picked a spawn point for the newbie. Selection complete. A massive beam of light suddenly shot down toward the planet. The starting location was set. Bighorn Mountain Settlement. A lush green forest appeared at the coordinates 24-152, 182, 644. Frenzied Sword opened his eyes and saw the game notifications. Spawning in progress, please wait. He waited in the middle of a strange forest as a virtual screen popped up and his body started taking shape. His new character looked pretty slick with the name Frenzied Sword hovering clearly over his head. And he wasn't alone. Tons of other players were starting to log in as well. Right now, over at the Bighorn Mountain Settlement in Star Dragon, groups of players were standing around chatting everywhere. Frenzied Sword quietly walked down the village path, eavesdropping on everyone's conversations as he passed. This looks like a starter village? So what is the move? Suddenly, a guy named Sandry cut them off, yelling at the whole group of outsiders. The old man leaned on his staff, glaring at everyone, and gave a cold warning. If you want to eat, let me find you some work. This settlement does not have room for lazy bums. Hearing that grumpy attitude, Frenzied Sword started checking the guy out. A character profile popped up in front of him for an old man named Sandry. At the same time, a system notification pinged. At your current level, you can only see the following information. Sandry, the Bighorn Mountain Village Chief. Basically, he is your starter village headman. Danger level is medium. His voice echoed everywhere, giving the newbies some direction. The crops need harvesting, and both the tailor and weapon shops are looking for skilled hands. A fresh shipment just landed right outside the neighborhood entrance. They need heavy lifters. Basically, if you work hard, you won't starve to death. Frenzied sword bolts to scout the village. The resources you can get from a starter area are trash, and they are running out fast. Beta time is gold. I have to get out of here and start exploring right now. He scans the area until a sale on an axe catches his eye. He tells himself he needs to scout ahead to get an early edge. No hesitation, Frenzied Sword rushes over to pay the merchant and heads back to the old man's place once the deal is done. After a long afternoon of haggling, Sandry starts naming prices for every item. That map is going to cost 3,000 aquamarine coins. Purchase confirmed. He grabs the loot bag and studies each location. Important intel starts sinking into his brain immediately. This is the Star Dragon map. The closest city is West Capital. He looks around carefully, searching for something specific in the area. He stares into the distance, totally pumped up. Fine then. Let's go check out West Capital and see what's up. At the West Capital border crossing, people are stuck waiting in long lines just to get through. Han Xiao is nearby, just chilling with some water when something finally catches his attention. He watches Frenzied Sword closely as the guy walks along while fumbling with the map in his hands. The vibe is so intense it makes him feel uneasy. Ever since entering the city, he feels like someone's eyes are glued to him. After looking around, he easily spots Han Xiao across the street. He can't help but notice him. Looks like it's that guy over there. He tries to open the scan system to check the guy's profile, but it only spits back one answer. Mystery man, with your current level, this guy's danger rating is straight up fatal. Frenzied Sword is shook. Deep down, the thought of a fatal danger level is terrifying. He shuffles past Han Xiao, trembling like a total coward. Aren't cities supposed to be safe zones? This shouldn't be happening. Gotta bail. I don't want to die. But just as he thinks he's in the clear, Han Xiao speaks up and calls him back. Hey, buddy. Han Xiao's voice is chill as he reminds him that scanning strangers the second you meet them is pretty rude. He goes into full defensive mode, acting like a coward while trying to justify himself. Is there something you need from me? Suddenly, Han Xiao's voice gets real serious. Kid, I need some help. Are you busy? Meanwhile, the guy is thinking, is this some kind of high-level NPC standing right in front of me? Is this really happening so fast? Did I trigger a secret quest? Am I the chosen one or something? This is epic, Han Xiao whispers. I need a loaf of bread. Can you find one? He expected something legendary, but this sounds way too easy. Frenzied Sword just freezes. Huh, quest accepted. He takes the job, but can't help being a little sarcastic about it. High-level NPC quests are usually harder than this, and the reward is trash. The objective list updates on his screen anyway. The quest objective is to give Han Xiao one loaf of bread for one aquamarine coin. Something feels totally wrong about this, and Frenzied Sword feels his heart skip a beat. Hold up. He checks Han Xiao from head to toe, quietly analyzing the whole situation. If he's a high-level NPC, there has to be a top-tier quest here. This bread thing is probably just a test to see if I'm worthy. I have to nail this. Thinking about a massive payoff later, he is absolutely hyped. I've been gaming for years, so I know exactly how these tropes work. He respectfully hands over the bread, acting all smooth to make sure he makes a good impression. Here's all the bread I have. You can have it all. But then a new notification pops up and makes him stop dead. New objective on the board. Kick 10 random strangers in the street. Reward 1. Aquamarine coin. Do you accept? Even though it's a super weird quest, he still tries to do it while people scream that he's a total psycho. Next task. Pull down a patrolling cop's pants. Complete the mission to receive 1 aquamarine coin. He actually goes through with it, screaming internally the whole time. What kind of garbage quest is this supposed to be? Even when he's forced to spin around like a tiny doll in a music box, he can't help but judge the game. Why is this high-level NPC such a weirdo? But all of that is forgotten when the next goal makes him panic. Han Xiao finally opens up his private player shop. It's perfect timing. Han Xiao wants to do business, revealing a huge list of weapons and their prices. Frenzied Sword looks at the shop in pure shock. These are god-tier weapons, but the prices are insane. 100 coins for 1 bullet? That is straight-up highway robbery, man. Looking at the updated list, he can't help but feel a sense of awe. Basic weaponry. This is specialized knowledge for the mechanic class. His gut tells him he's onto something. He studies Han Xiao and realizes this guy is a rare class trainer who is hard to find. This is my big break. He's getting more nervous by the second and honestly a little terrified. But if I can actually learn from him, my growth speed will crush every other player in this game. Without even realizing it, his hands ball into fists, shaking with pure adrenaline. The system asks if he wants to change his class to a mechanic. He hits confirm without even thinking twice. If I don't take this chance right now, I will definitely regret it forever. Suddenly, a strange and powerful sensation surges through his entire body. He kept staring at Han Xiao with this weird look on his face. It was only when Han Xiao turned to leave that this sword freak finally blurted something out. Wait up! Where can I find you later? He started hauling as fast as he could, straight up terrified of losing Han Xiao in the crowd. Han Xiao just coldly handed him a scrap of paper, instead of speaking directly. The sword fighter carefully opened it to see a short address: repair shop, 46 District 5. The sword fighter stood there watching Han Xiao disappear. He gripped that little slip of paper tight. His brain was already spinning with all sorts of schemes and ways to get ahead. If I keep this high-level NPC secret, I can totally outrun everyone else in the beta. He kept one eye on Han Xiao's back as he reached the traffic light. While crossing the street, Han Xiao thought about the guy he met. Frenzied Sword was actually pretty interesting. Thanks to his crazy good memory, Han Xiao instantly figured out exactly who he was dealing with. I remember him. He's a top-tier martial artist, one of the top 24 in China. I basically tricked him into the mechanic class. I don't blame him for being sneaky, I just feel for the guy. He probably won't have a chance to flex during the first few seasons, but if he just grinds it out, he'll definitely be thanking me in the later updates. Han Xiao kept walking toward the construction site. The workers there were hyped to get help from the newbies. Great, you guys are seriously going to help us out, Kong Jiang asked, looking totally excited. For real. Even though he was just passing through, Han Xiao had to respect the hustle. These guys were really working. Wow, looks like a ton of players have already finished the starter village quests. But over in a corner nearby, some bored level 2 old man player looked completely lost and miserable. Han Xiao watched the two sides and got thinking. Most of these players don't have a side. They're just wandering around with no real goal. All they care about is the loot. Han Xiao knew the ultimate truth. If you give them enough rewards, these players will basically do whatever you want for you without a second thought. He started cooking up a new plan. Maybe he could boss these guys around and use them as backup against Germinal. No time like the present. He marched right into the middle of the construction zone. Han Xiao crossed his arms and acted humble. Listen, heroes, I need your help with something. Lam Q stopped working. Is that a high-level NPC? Kong Jiang stood nearby and asked nicely. What's the problem? We'd be happy to help you out. Han Xiao looked at the system reward list and started doing the math. My reward pool is limited. I can't just hand out quests with prizes that are way more than what I actually have. Then his screen flickered to a new goal: take down the Germinal organization. Mission failed. The difficulty level was just way too high. Your level isn't high enough to even cover the minimum reward requirements for a mission like that. Things were getting complicated. His current reward cap couldn't even cover his own needs. He looked at the player standing there in front of him and let out a long, heavy sigh. Man, I guess I need to find a way to boost my reward cap before I can start using these players properly. Kong Jiang saw him just standing there and started getting annoyed. Hey man, say something. We don't have all day. Han Xiao kept swiping on his screen. Suddenly, the 3 construction workers got a notification on their own menus. Kong Jiang yelled, "What a quest!" Moon looked over, totally confused. What kind of trash is this? Find bread for $1. That reward was so cheap, it was straight up insulting. They all just dipped and went back to work talking trash behind his back. High-level NPC cap, total waste of time. Delivering boxes pays better than this guy ever could. Han Xiao realized his plan tanked. He quickly pulled a move to tank their favorability. Kong Jiang saw his rep drop and lost it. No quest, so my rep drops. This NPC is being a total jerk for no reason. Pure pettiness, man. After that, Han Xiao headed back to the shop. Luthien saw the new guy and decided to tease Han Xiao a bit. Why is that guy always following you around? Is he like into you or something? He seems pretty dedicated. Maybe you should just date him. Before she could finish, Han Xiao coldly ordered Frenzied Sword to go stand on the street and act like a plant for 10 minutes. Got it. After the guy left, Han Xiao turned back to her. I told you it's not what you think. Seriously. Outside, Frenzied Sword was waving his arms around while staring at his system screen like a total weirdo. Man, the God Guild has so much cash. If I could just find Zero, I'd be set for life. Han Xiao watched him closely. This kid is scrolling through the player forums. His face suddenly got all tense, like he just remembered something super important. Han Xiao kept swiping through his virtual screen to stay on top of things. And the world chat news was blowing up, but one B-rank mission really stood out. He checked the update. Wait, what? He racked his brain trying to remember something important. I remember that the first B-rank quests shouldn't even show up until the official public launch. How could anyone be triggering a high-level mission like this during the early beta test? Then the system sent a notification that confirmed exactly what he was worried about. Breaking news: B-rank mission. Investigate Zero. Any useful info on his location gets a massive payout. Man, this is actually messing with my head. Looks like my existence just broke the whole game's timeline. He clenched his fists, giving himself a quick reality check. These low-level players aren't a threat yet, but I can't get sloppy. Seeing Han Xiao bail, Lu Qian shouted out, Hey, dinner's almost ready. Where do you think you're going? He just hit her with a cold to the workshop. She watched him walk off like a total emo and started complaining. Seriously, this dude is a total workaholic. Always rushing. He barely even sits down at his desk to start the grind when a loud notification suddenly blasts through his terminal. System alert, you have just triggered an emergency assassination quest. An assassin is inbound? Goal survive. Rewards unknown. Han Xiao scanned the data, totally shocked that this killer actually managed to ghost past the high-level Division 13 security web. Good thing Old Man Lu is out. He grabbed his piece quickly, knowing he needed some serious heat to deal with this enemy. He was on high alert now, his mind racing with a million different survival strategies. Looks like he has to take out this germinal assassin before worrying about the new players joining the bad guys. Han Xiao walked the streets feeling the weight of the world. Lu Qian was still at the shop. He couldn't let her get caught in the crossfire, so he just kept moving. After scouting the area, he decided this empty pier was the perfect spot for a showdown. Suddenly, a shadow flickered. Just that tiny movement put him on edge. Out of nowhere, a swarm of black birds came diving at him, and Han Xiao was completely caught off guard. What the hell is this? He kept scanning every corner of the pier. It wasn't just one bird, it was a whole damn flock. By the time he realized the danger, he was trapped. The birds had wires that tangled around his neck, and Han Xiao struggled just to breathe. Crap, this enemy is an esper. He thrashed around for a while, but it was no use. He was totally stuck. A massive cross loomed right in front of him. Han Xiao's eyes went wide. Where the hell were these blood-red waves coming from? He was pinned tight against that cross right in the middle of a literal sea of blood. Knowing this was no ordinary fight, Han Xiao used his pro-gamer experience to realize it was an illusion. This level of realism meant the enemy was probably as cracked as Gila. He felt the wires tightening around his throat, and a cold wave of panic started to set in. The more he struggled, the tighter they got. This is bad. Resistance was useless, and he knew it. Damn it, am I really about to get smoked right here? Suddenly, a flash of surprise flickered in his eyes. The system pinged. Alert! You are in an illusion. Intelligence check 50 points. Check passed. You are now immune to this mind trick. Realizing he could fight back, Han Xiao shattered the illusion and snapped back to reality. But before he could celebrate, he felt a cold gun barrel pressed against his skull. Nosa gave him a creepy, polite smile and whispered, Goodbye, Zero. His fingers slowly began to squeeze the trigger. As the bullet flew, Han Xiao used his sliding step skill and dodged it in the blink of an eye. Facing such a tough target, Nosa grit his teeth in pure frustration. He couldn't believe the kid dodged a bullet at point-blank range. While the guy was distracted, Han Xiao whipped out his twin pistols. No hesitation, he instantly triggered his overload skill for maximum damage. The assassin popped a shield to block the hit. Han Xiao watched him closely, sizing up his next move. An energy shield, just like Gila's. Yeah, this guy is definitely not some random scrub. Nosa was fuming. He felt like the Syndicate totally played him with bad info. The intel said Zero was just an elite agent, so how the hell was he this powerful? He screamed the intel is wrong and decided to bolt, even though Han Xiao was right on his tail. Time to retreat and regroup. He kept glancing back, eyes full of panic, making sure he wasn't caught. He quickly cast a secret art to slow Han down, summoning that flock of black birds once again. Han Xiao got sucked into the illusion again, but he just gave a little smirk. The system started updating his status, checking the strength of the incoming mental invasion. Your intelligence is 50 points. Check successful. You're officially immune to this illusion. He didn't waste time. He punched right through the bloody vision and charged out with his guns ready. Han Xiao quickly swapped out his regular magazine for some special custom rounds, high-heat ammo loaded and ready. Nosa made the fatal mistake of looking back while he tried to run. That 1 second of curiosity put him right in the crosshairs. He screamed, "Damn it, how?" as the bullet streaked toward him like a literal missile. Even Han Xiao's voice sounded a little bit disappointed. "You were actually pretty strong. Too bad for you." He watched the guy go up in flames, mocking him because the same trick never works twice. Meanwhile, deep inside a dark alley nearby, a secret meeting was just about to go down. Feng Jun jumped out of the car looking super guilty. "You okay?" "My bad, I am late." Han Xiao looked annoyed and pointed at a fresh bruise. "Do I look okay to you?" Feng Jun felt so bad he couldn't even look the kid in the eye. "Sorry, I really messed up." Han Xiao let it slide and just stared at the massive fire burning in the distance. Don't blame him. This guy is a top enforcer for Germinal, a stone-cold killer who never misses his mark. Hearing that vague name, only one answer flashed through Feng Jun's mind. Nosakuno answers cool as ice, face totally blank, while poor Feng is just standing there losing his mind. Hold up. The veteran agent can't wrap his head around what he's seeing right now. You took down Nosa and ended him. You're actually that cracked? Han Xiao just shrugs it off. You just met me or what? That cold line hits everyone there like a ton of bricks. Han Xiao leaves the crowd behind and hits the car to rest. A notification pops up. Mission accomplished. You scored a legendary character summoning card. Nosakuno's illusion power. Targets with 50+ intelligence are immune. 0 of 1 uses. Now that's a payout. This gift is mine, Germinal. Feng Jun finishes up and hops in the car to grill him. Let's head back to headquarters. A tired voice sighs. Then Han Xiao realizes something Nosa tracked me down. Which means Germinal knows where I am. He's starting to sweat. But Feng Jun is still acting all confident in his team's skills. Don't count on it. Intel hackers locked the web and started screening. No mention of you as leaving Western Capital tonight. But those sweet lies don't work on him. You sure? His years on the job gave him some solid intel, but Nosa wouldn't move solo. He definitely leaked your info to local spies. Even with a blackout, they'll find a way to get it out. Keeping this guy in the car is only going to slow things down. Han Xiao grabs the wheel and boots Feng Jun out of the car. I'm hunting him so Germinal loses my trail. It's a total emergency, so he drops the instructions and leaves without explaining a thing. Tell the bosses to lock down the city, the agent screams, banging on the glass. Don't be a hero. We don't even know who the spies are. Where do you think you're going? But he doesn't listen, just floors the gas and leaves the agent coughing in a cloud of dust. Who's the spy? Han Xiao's sharp eyes show he's already 3 steps ahead. Of course I know. The black car flies down the street without a single obstacle in its path. He's busy on the move, calling Ya Lin to meet him at District 8 with the coordinates. Drive the fastest car you got. She's totally lost. Why the slums of all places? She keeps asking questions and he's not having it. Don't ask questions, just get here. The car blurs past, leaving a trail of smoke. At District 8's junkyard, the sun is setting, but Han Xiao arrives last. Ya Lin is completely baffled and lets him hear it. What's the big idea? She snaps. Only to get ignored like a basic intern. Follow me? The heavy iron gate creaks open as the locals turn to see the commotion. All eyes are on the young man walking in with the swagger of a street knight. If I remember right, the Germinal contact is here. He scans the church. Wait, nobody's home. Han Xiao grabs Roman and demands to know where Lu Gao En is. Total dead end. That guy, he's been gone since lunch. Han Xiao grabs a pen and bites the cap right off. Working from memory, he quickly sketches out a rough portrait. A few seconds later, he shows the drawing. Does this look like the guy? Han Xiao double checks. Look close. Short hair just walked out of the church. He hands the sketch to Ya Lin. Send this to Border Patrol. See if he's left the city. I'll check the checkpoint myself. Maybe I can still beat him to it. Sitting in her supercar, Ya Lin is fuming. Why is he being so mysterious? Border Patrol says he hasn't left. Han Xiao cuts the tension. Buckle up. I drive fast. She talks back, acting tough. You underestimate me. I'm a martial artist. I can take it. He slams the gas. In a heartbeat, the yellow car rockets away from the church grounds. Han Xiao stared at the road, calculating his next move. It turns out Lu Gao En vanished only 1 hour ago. He probably just got the intel. He'll likely head for the nearest exit, and that northwest border crossing is his best bet. Feeling the pressure, he slammed it into gear to kick up the speed. The supercar lunged forward like a starving leopard. Suddenly, a massive train started crawling across the horizon right in front of the 2 people inside the car. Ya Lin was literally crying from fear. Stop the car. Stop it now. There's a huge train coming right there. Channeling some serious Fast and Furious energy, Han Xiao gunned it, threading the needle through the gap in mere seconds. The speedometer needle hovered near 170. Ya Lin's heart was still doing backflips from the shock. Got a death wish? The engine screamed through the tunnel as the car tore forward, slicing right through the wind. Traffic thinned out once they cleared the city, so Han Xiao started showing off some seriously slick drift moves. Out in the sticks, the supercar finally caught up to 2 other rides cruising down the road ahead of them. Not interested in waiting, Han Xiao blasted past both obstacles. Those slowpokes were left behind to eat his dust. Over at the Western capital's northwest border, the sun felt deceptively peaceful and warm. A crowd was gathering, complaining loudly. What gives? Why is the gate shut? Let us out. We have urgent business. Cao An was stuck at the front, panicking more than anyone. Why a lockdown? Did Nosa actually go down? The soldier standing on the watchtower scanned the crowd. For one intense second, his eyes locked right onto Cao An's face. There he is. That yellow car finally pulled up to the crowd. Nya Lum sounded totally exhausted and weak. Division 13 agents coming through. Make a hole. The guard barked for them to show their ID. He checked her face to confirm. Seeing her look like a total ghost made him worry. You okay? Han Xiao saw her acting like a dead battery and couldn't help but roast her. Some martial artist you are. Nya Lum just groaned, shut it. Meanwhile, Cao An was in a pretty pathetic spot. No escape. Just play nice and go quietly. At the border of Starlight and Haya, the germinal base at Dark Raven Valley was buzzing. The place was a fortress packed with heavy weapons. Aruba checked the morning briefing. Mission changed. A high-tech terrain map flickered to life. Target 0 is in the western capital. Jupiter was stoked. The circle is shrinking. Once we drop the beta test for the guild, finding 0 will be a total breeze. Even Alex, usually the quiet type, had to chime in on the surprise news. This B-rank reward will put us leagues ahead of the other guilds. Kolang waited in his office pacing. The latest report hit his desk, and he zeroed in on the main suspect involved in the case. 0 again. Fury boiled behind his masked face. 0. Do you really think having a new boss makes you untouchable? I will find you. He slammed his fist down and stood up. His power was being threatened, and it felt like fire. Find 0's exact coordinates. Even if he's hiding in Division 13's basement, I want him found. 200 Knight soldiers are locked and loaded. When we find him, you kill him on sight. I'm authorizing short-range missiles, spare no expense. Inside the Starlight Defense headquarters, the vibe was surprisingly chill for once. Han Xiao checked the progress inside. Looks like the beta test is finally over. His screen was flooded with updates. The countdown for the public beta is 122 days and 1 hour. It took him back to his old days of grinding games for hours on end. Called it. Time in the real world during an update does not match the time inside the game. Guhai was annoyed at the distraction. Why are you spacing out in the middle of our meeting? Acting like he's holding all the cards, he grilled Han Xiao. How much more do you know about Germinal? His mask hid his smirk. Then he let out a mysterious laugh. No more secrets, not anymore. Han Xiao spoke up slowly. They found me. He rubbed his hands together, looking slightly on edge. Germinal doesn't have my address yet, but they definitely know I'm hanging out in the Western capital. He stared them down with total conviction. They're going to send a hit squad for me. Guhai looked him in the eye. So what is the plan? Han Xiao adjusted his mask and chuckled, looking totally unbothered. Time to take the fight to them. Seeing his I don't care attitude, Gu Hui looked like a stressed-out dad watching his kid take huge risks. No way that is too risky. He clicks the remote and the projector screen drops down right in front of him. A red dot flashes on the 2D map while Han Xiao's steady voice echoes. Down by the coast, the Dark Crow Valley base is nothing like the last 3. This is a major base, and for this raid, I'm taking point myself. Gu Hai spins around his face, going from worried to flat-out panicked. What are you saying? You're basically handing the Germinal organization a free shot? His long fingers casually set the remote down on the table. Han Xiao's cocky attitude is just ticking the guy off even more. I can build something special, something that totally alters my appearance. After hearing that he grinds his teeth and his eyes bulge in frustration, the deal was basically done. Gu Hai gives the final word to end the meeting. Build it first, then we talk. Outside, it is a bright sunny day at a hidden repair shop. Han Sao is mapping out enemy territory in his head. There's an 80% chance Star Dragon Brass hits Dark Crow Valley. This base is right next to the newbie starting zone. If I wreck it before the open beta launch, way fewer players will join the Germinal faction. He glances at a pair of legs kicked up on the couch and smirks. The old man is home. Han Xiao hesitates for a second before opening his mouth. Uncle Lu. He finally steps inside after lingering by the door. I want to borrow your books on mechanical knowledge. Old Lu does not just hand them over. First, why do you want them? A pair of bloodshot, tipsy eyes silently watch him waiting for an answer. Being stared down like that gives Han Xiao the creeps. He knew it wouldn't be easy and starts plotting an excuse, but the man just stands up and staggers over. Follow me. Inside the room, shelves are packed with priceless knowledge, while empty bottles are scattered all over the floor nearby. Old Lu points toward the wall and raises his voice. The books are all right here? His quiet vibe makes him look like a total saint. Go ahead and read, just do not break my stuff. Getting exactly what he wanted makes him beam. Thanks, Uncle. But deep down, he is still pretty suspicious. Why is this old guy being so incredibly chill today? Then Han Xiao accidentally hears the old man mumble a soft confession to himself. Something about baiting the assassins away so Xiao Qian stays safe? Thank you. The quiet room is soon filled with the sound of flipping pages. Han Xiao skims the text at lightning speed so the system can automatically update his info. He gently sets the book on a tall stack, closing his sharp eyes to process all the new data. A powerful, heroic aura starts radiating from his entire body. Mentally, he is ready for the coming war. All his mechanical skills are finally maxed out. Next step is fusing the most important blueprint. A notification pops up asking him to make a choice. Do you want to fuse basic biochemistry level 1, basic optics level 1, and basic materials science level 3 together, and basic simulation electronics level 2? This craft costs 20,000 experience. Han Xiao's slender finger does not hesitate. He clicks accept immediately. All that selective studying finally paid off. He is about to give the world a masterpiece way ahead of its time. Congrats. You researched the smart simulation optical mask? Staring at the high-tech design he just invented? He finally breathes a sigh of relief. This thing spans 3 different basic knowledge branches. Between the strict level requirements and needing to be a mechanic to even fuse it, this is easily the most high-end mask in the current version. Inside the Star Dragon Strategic Defense Agency, the constant sound of rushing footsteps creates a thick, invisible tension. Zhang Wei, the tech-blind leader, stares at the screen and asks, "Did you submit that report yet?" Lin Yao flies across the keyboard and casually replies, "Just sent it." Suddenly, a knock at the door cuts them off. Gu Hui's goal today was not these two. He was strictly looking for Han Xiao. "I told you this mission is way too dangerous, unless you really made something that can change your entire face." Han Xiao tries to stay cool, but lets out a soft chuckle. He walks toward the door and says mysteriously, obviously, "Just wait a sec." Han Xiao smirks and confidently hits a glowing button on his forehead, walking slowly toward them so they can get a good look. From far away, it is hard to tell, but once he gets close, the whole group's eyes pop out. They're all standing there, totally stunned. His face changed so much that you could not even see his old features. "Well, can I join the party now?" Gu Hai cannot believe it and leans in for a closer look. He really cannot see any trace of the original face. Seeing how slick the tech is, he awkwardly scratches his chin. "Not bad at all. You interested in selling the blueprint to the agency?" Han Xiao waves him off and quickly changes the subject. "It is just a mask. What blueprint are you talking about? You guys can build this yourselves, right?" The old fox Gu Hui fell right into the trap. A tiny, proud smirk tugs at Han Xiao's lips. It totally fooled him. With all his experience living in this beautiful society, he knows you always need to keep a back door open. My high-tech mask doesn't just generate random faces, it scans and saves other people's appearances for later use too. Keep this feature top secret though. This is my ultimate trump card. Gu Hui waves goodbye while barking out final orders. "Take your squad and join this operation. We move in half a month, so start prepping." Yulin tries to grab the mask to check it out. "Hey Han Xiao, what's this modded tech? Let me play." He coldly shoves her hand away without a word. "Stop messing around. I've got real business to discuss." "Hey Wei, just hand over that combat armor prototype of yours. Here's the deal of a lifetime. I'm going to overhaul it for you." Zhang Wei's jaw hits the floor. He can't believe it. Seriously, Han Xiao lays out the full blueprint. "We'll boost energy output, fix the drive, and cut the weight. We'll reinforce the internal frame for better support. Plus, I'm installing a brand new scouting system to keep an eye on everything outside. A fire control system to give your long-range weapons auto-aim. If time allows it, I'll even prep a simple melee weapon for you." His eyes start sparkling like stars as he practically drools over the idea. "Sweet, that sounds awesome. But like they teach in business school, once you close the deal, you got to get paid immediately. If you're cool with that, then I need the fee paid up front." Zhang Wei is grinning and floating on clouds. "Yeah, sure. So how much cash?" Final tally says 360,208. "But I'll do 360,000 for you." His eyes pop. "Why so pricey?" The merchant shark begins his play now. "Don't call it pricey yet. Tell me, how are your parents doing?" Zhang Wei scratches his head and says they are both out on a trip anyway. He keeps the pressure on the big guy. "Got any brothers or sisters in the picture?" He's acting like a gullible kid being led around by the nose. Only child Han Xiao drops a fatal question. "Got a girlfriend or a wife?" Zhang Wei's confidence just totally flatlined while he cries inside. "Nope. Forever alone." Han Xiao's expressionless face signals that a massive storm is about to crash down on him. Believing in justice is like believing a November 11th flash sale is actually a deal. Han Xiao drops one last killer line. "So what are you even holding on to all that cash for?" Zhang Wei breaks down totally defeated. Fine. Just take my money." The merchant shark got what he wanted and checks out. "Fine then, I'm heading home to prep the gear for this mission." He walks out, his voice echoing, "Don't even think about bothering me." 10 days later at the Liu family workshop, a phone on the table is vibrating like crazy. It's Lin stressing out over the business. "Stop ghosting me. When are you actually going to work? My phone's ringing off the hook because of you. You still alive? Zhang's armor is in pieces. Time delay grenades and some fancy new auto-flight grenades are ready." Upgraded folding blades and high-performance gliders are ready. Han Xiao closes his eyes to sense the finished gear's power. Hardened steel begins wrapping around his bare hands. The stats on this armor are significantly boosted compared to before. Left arm equipped with a light power vibration unit. Shock Palm Tech uses air pressure to blast targets with a massive wave of pure vibration on contact. Titanium alloy frame for max durability. Basic attributes are totally juiced up. Attack power is 73 to 87. Fire speed is 1.5. 8 rounds in 50-meter range. Energy output is 45. Magnetic plating is active. The magnetic force induction tech is now fully online. Plating spreads across his body, forming armor anywhere. It's super flexible, heat-resistant, and ready for war. Radiation-proof high protection. He's hyped to test this new build. This tactical loadout is going to give those rookies a nasty surprise. Han Xiao's slender hand grabs the phone off the table. His body is fully upgraded into a much stronger form. Time to assemble and roll out. At the West Capitol Station, the train's waiting for the signal. Where the hell is Zhang and the others? A pitch-black truck roars in like a total beast. Rambus watches in awe as it approaches. This ride is sick. The train cuts through the moonlight. Inside the carriage, Chibaijia is rounding everyone up. He looks deadly serious while stating his name. I'm the commander for this mission. My name is Chibaijia. The whole mission rests on my shoulders. Every word he says is pure gold. Listen up while I break down the next move using this map to pinpoint our targets. He cuts the long lecture down to a few sharp points. This mission is a joint op with the Hai Xia intelligence guys. The Hai Xia army is already at the border ready to move anytime. Our job, sneak and scout their defense layouts and feed all that juicy intel back to the military. Old Man Bai points his finger at a glowing circle on the map. This is the top secret data Hai Xia sent over. Dark Crow Valley is a natural fortress hidden deep in the woods. Drones cannot spot the base through that thick canopy. His booming voice totally intimidates the rookies. We have zero clues on their military power or the exact location. Ground infiltration is the only way in, period. Suddenly, mysterious feet step out from the shadows, slowly getting closer. No idea how much she overheard, but she is already chiming in. Sounds like this place is a total lockdown fortress. This beautiful long-haired lady is Di Su Su, a Star Dragon Spec Op veteran. She uses her experience to ask a weird question. Why can't the army just hit them from the ground? Old Man Bai just sighs. It looks like the memories of that failure really get under his skin. They refused. Yalin's early excitement fades as the newcomer stands right in her way, blocking her. Are you serious? What a dumb question. Is there a way in or not? Bai pins a photo onto the board. West of the valley sits a tiny village called Crow Forest. It is right near the Bud base. The valley probably has spies hiding everywhere there. We can squeeze those guys for info. One by one, he pulls out the mugshots based on the latest intelligence we gathered. There are 3 major threats at this base. The first guy looks like a total psycho with a killer aura that screams danger. Chief Manager Fan Kuang, an E+ rank martial artist. He carries a blade they call the Soul Sword. Next is this blonde guy acting like some rich elite, Deputy Manager Li Ji. Not much info on him. Finally, this dude with a jawline that could cut glass. Guard Captain Dumen? He's a rifle specialist and a top-tier elite operative. This guy is basically a human weapon. Bai leans against the side of the train, his voice sounding low and mysterious. Hard to tell if he is happy. For this collab, Hai Xia is sending their own special intelligence squad. Once we hit the drop zone, we will be working together. Zhang Wei frowns the second he hears that. A joint op like this is super rare, so Yalin decides to butt in too. Won't that just be a mess? Before she can finish her thought, the train slams on its brakes, throwing everyone forward like rag dolls. Joint Hu Yalin sits up, looking around totally confused. Why did we stop so fast? Suddenly, the guard screams over the intercom, making her heart skip a beat. Beast attack. Get ready to fight. Her amber eyes go wide with shock when she hears that alert. Right in front of them is a creature so gross it feels like a 4D jump scare in full high definition with no exit button. Yalin screams a warning about black ground worms. Outside, these massive monsters are already swarming and surrounding the entire train. Black ground worm level 48, high defense points and a master of the dark attribute. Tons of health and they do area damage to metal machinery. Han Xiao scans the scene and realizes things look bad. This is a disaster. Why do we have to run into these tough bastards? A soldier gets snatched up in a giant mouth and screams for his life. Help! The guards gear up and get the order to fire. They unleash a literal rain of bullets on the monsters without holding back. Too bad their armor is so tough that the bullets just bounce off like water hitting a raincoat. It is totally useless. The soldier realizes they are just wasting ammo and calls it in. No good. Their hides are too thick. We cannot pierce the armor. Yalin does not hesitate. She pushes through the crowd to the front line. Get back! She uses the window frame to launch herself outside. The soldiers watch as she skillfully closes the gap. Yalin swings her blade, driving it deep into the giant worm's thick plating. The sudden pain makes the beast thrash around trying to shake her off. It did not do much damage, but she realizes that melee attacks are the only way to even dent that heavy armor. We need another plan. Standing below Susu suddenly remembers their biology. Burn them. These black ground worms are terrified of fire. Ramba snaps a special magazine into his rifle. He finds a solid stance and gets ready to blast. Let me take a shot. The moment comes. A small flash of light screams out of the long barrel. Just like he planned, the bullet hits the worm's softest tissue. A massive explosion rocks the air as smoke erupts from its head. That blast sends the other worms panicking back underground. Its long, massive body actually made the explosion way more destructive than a normal hit. The worms that did not bury themselves in time got caught in the blast, slowly burning up as they sizzled. Yalin manages to make it back inside safely to catch her breath. Whew, thank God. Glad you were here for that one. Looking at the smoky, battered train with that massive hole in the side, he whispers, I finally made it out of that hell. It's a gorgeous day at the station. An old green train pulls in while hot people roam the main street under the sun. Han Xiao's team hops off. Lin Yao stares at the local scene with his jaw dropping. Bikinis on the street. Are people here really this bold? Yi Fan wearing a wild Hawaiian shirt and a bucket hat waves them over. Yo, you guys made it. I'm Yi Fan from the local intelligence bureau. Welcome. He leads the way while explaining the basics. The process isn't complicated, just check in with the commander and you're set. Han Xiao and Lin Yao both snap their heads to the left, watching closely. Armed soldiers are staring them down with suspicious looks. The group quickly heads toward a sleek, modern building located right up ahead. Yi Fan enters a room and snaps a salute. Sir, the agents from Star Dragon have arrived as requested. Search stares into a fish tank without even turning around. Find them a room and don't let them wander off. Over in the dorms, Lin Yao slumps onto a bed frame, looking bored and complaining about the situation. Is it just me, or do those soldiers outside look like they want us gone? The vibe here is totally hostile. The commander was pretty cold to us, too. Then Duong sighs. Don't you get it? He explains with a serious face. We were at war with this place before, so they aren't exactly fans of us. Makes sense, right? He lets out a long sigh, looking completely miserable. Whatever mission first. I guess we'll just crash in this dump for now. Han Xiao isn't really interested in hearing all the complaining and drama. He stands up and points toward the exit, stepping out for a smoke. The guy just nods. White smoke fills the air. Han Xiao stands by a truck with his hands in his pockets thinking. Suddenly, the system interface flashes a notification. It grabs his attention immediately. Honestly, he's pretty shocked by what he sees. The mission screen pops up. You have activated the Dark Crow Valley faction operation. Here's the mission brief. This is a small-scale military operation. As a member of Division 13, you are officially part of the team. Let's see what you can handle. Note, this is a faction quest. You can finish the following requirements during this mission. He scrolls through the info board, whistling to himself. Sweet, his very first faction mission is finally live. His brain starts working fast. Usually these faction quests give out rewards based on how well you actually perform. The payouts are always massive. His finger stops on the specific details of the task at hand. He decides he needs to put on a show and earn a huge payday. Suddenly, high heels click-clack toward him. He quickly closes the system window and eyes the woman approaching. It's wind-tan skin, gold eyes, and a killer model body. You're with Star Dragon Han Xiao. Keeps his cool hands in his pockets and gives a cold, maybe so back. Win is clearly the type to act first. She reaches behind her and pulls out a combat knife. She jams the blade against his throat with a murderous look. Why didn't you even try to dodge that? Han Xiao looks her in the eye with total confidence. Why would I? She smirks and presses the knife closer. You think I'm joking? His titanium armor starts crawling up his neck. He challenges her. Go ahead and try. Win suddenly breaks into a cold sweat. She realizes Han Xiao already has a pistol pointed straight at her chest. Under that mask, a smug little smile crept up. A quick warm-up was all they needed to gauge each other. She dropped the attitude and introduced herself as Wind from Intelligence. He gave a short, simple reply back. Han Xiao. Wind turned on her heels and tossed a phrase back. I'll remember that. Bach watched everything from above. He squinted through his glasses and nodded slowly, clearly, feeling pretty good about what he was seeing. Facing an elite agent without flinching or starting a fight. Kid has real skills and the right mindset. Wind passed the military trucks and ignored the questions. She kept her eyes forward, not even looking back. Yefam dropped a cold reality check that Han Xiao guy is going to be a real problem. The convoy stretched along the mountain road led by a sleek black truck. Yefam spoke in his flashy outfit. Everyone's here, let's roll. We have a base near Crow Valley. He looked at the truck and was impressed. This logistics truck is actually sick. Bach took the chance to flex. Pretty sweet, right? Not bad at all. Starlight has plenty of these. Tu stood nearby, rolling her eyes. So fake, we don't even have one. Fendung agreed with a sarcastic smirk. Yeah, totally blowing smoke. We just need 2 mechanics anyway. The engines roar as each car peels out into the beautiful mountain scenery. Nyalam is riding shotgun with Han Xiao. Seeing him chill with a smoke, she chirps, "Whoa, actually decent driving today." Lamdu leans forward from the back, buzzing. "Xiao, we are falling behind Florid already." He leans against the window, flicking his cigarette. "Why the rush? Let them go. No matter how fast they go, they still have to wait for us." Then Toto's voice crackles over the radio. "Lam, where did you go? Catch up is Han Xiao really that bad at driving?" He just exhales smoke, saving gas. Then Duong thinks Han Xiao's being way too casual. He shouts a challenge. "Jiang Wei, these guys are testing us. We cannot lose to them." Jiang Wei is all in. "You got it. Let's chase them." Now Lam hears this and starts screaming. "No way, Captain." He looks confused. "What are you scared of?" She pales, acting totally innocent. "Can we just drive normal for once?" Han Xiao listens, eyes locked on the road. "Fine, I'm speeding up." He slams the gas as Chi Ki warns everyone to hold on tight. The massive truck bolts like lightning. Nya Lam shrieks, "You guys are going to regret this." In a blink, the logistics truck flies past the military convoy, leaving everyone behind in a thick cloud of smoke. Han Xiao's street racer mode has the soldiers staring in total shock. No way. Nya Lam is losing it, clutching the handle and howling, "Help! Let me out!" Lamdu is not doing any better. He shuts his eyes tight. "Xiao, please slow down." Ignoring the screams inside, he drifts and swerves along the mountain pass like he has got a death wish. The heavy truck actually catches air like a scene from Fast and Furious. Everyone inside is screaming for help. They finally hit the Crow Woods base. The truck screeches to a smoky halt. Nya Lam looks sick, whispering that she feels like she is dying. She stumbles out, glaring at the guys who are suffering too. "I told you would regret it." Han Xiao is the only one fine. He casually asks, "Didn't you guys want to catch up?" Jiang Wei wipes his mouth, asking, "Did you drive bumper cars before?" He just grins, thinking to himself, "Bumper cars, man, I was the king of the streets." Ram is barely holding on, gasping a warning. "Touch that wheel again and I'm jumping out." The Tin Long crew enters the base. The rooms look like a 5-star hotel. Deep Fam plays the polite host. "It's simple, but make yourselves at home." Then he calls a strategy meeting. "We'll have a quick briefing before the battle." He points to the board's mission map. "We have 2 goals. 1, go undercover as drifters in Crow Woods town to gather some intel. 2, find guards near Dark Valley and interrogate them. Wind jumps in to claim her mission. We'll handle the guards. You guys hit the town." Han Xiao thinks it over. Right away, she steals the easy job. "We don't know the town. It's pure danger." He looks at his annoyed team. "Hunting guards for info is way easier and much safer. They all know she's playing them." Deep Fam seems to have Wind's back. He settles it quickly. "No more talk. Let's move. Leave some backup behind." The meeting ends and everyone heads to their rooms. In the fake town of Crow Woods, the brick houses look old school. To looks around and makes a plan. Asking around right away looks suspicious. "Let's find a place to stay first." Han Xiao isn't buying it. Drifters asking questions is normal. Hiding is what looks shady. Bak Jia agrees, giving the order. "You guys move tonight." Jiang Wei nods. "Makes sense." To just sighs at these guys. "But this place is huge. Where do we find intel?" "There is a casino south of town. Look for a bald guy. He knows everything." The moon hangs high over the mountain peak. The massive Crow Woods casino is glowing with lights. The interior is massive and fancy. Downstairs is a total zoo with people shouting everywhere. "Come on, place your bets." To hangs over the 2nd floor railing, looking down at the crowd with a suspicious eye. "This place actually has it. Wait." Nalam's jaw drops as she locks her eyes on something just a few feet away. A guy with a shiny bald head is chilling in a chair, living his best life with a hot bunny girl on each arm. She cheers happily. "Found him, a real live baldy." Without skipping a beat, she guns it, vaults over the railing, and flies through the air like the wind. She nails the landing right on the bald guy's back. She pins him down, locking his arms back hard. "Don't even twitch, play nice," she yells. The 2 girls see the table fly and scramble out of there fast. Han Xiao and Lin Yao are bored out of their minds just staring at their computer screens. "Everything's on schedule?" He pulls his headset off and sighs. "Looks quiet. Your shift now, I'm hitting the sack." Tonight is going to be a long, sleepless night. For most people, but not for Han Xiao, down by the lakeside tower. A creepy silence hangs over the place like a scene from a bad horror movie, and sure enough, a body covered in blood is lying right there. Combat boots crunch slowly toward the scene, moving just like a predator stalking its next meal. Patient and deadly. Once the coast is clear, Wind rushes in with her rifle. "Move fast. Let's end this." In seconds, the tower is a graveyard. Bodies are everywhere, and the floor is soaked red. She snaps impatiently, "Well, is it done yet?" Yifan kicks his feet up and smashes the keys with a smirk. Dark Crow Valley's firewall. Total joke. 1 hit, and it folded. Success. He yells as the screen shows the data copy is complete. They bail fast. Yifan is hauling a prisoner while Wind can't wipe that smug grin off her face. Huh. This haul is definitely going to make those Star Dragon losers look like total amateurs. Over at the Dark Crow Valley base, everything's quiet under the stars. Just a few off-road rigs scattered around. Huangjia bows low, looking serious. "Sir, the external network just got breached." Qijai lifts his tea, staying cool as ice. "Oh, what did they take?" The guy's sweating bullets. "Coordinates base maps in the experiment logs." He's not sweating it at all. He just keeps staring at the cup in his hand. He shrugs and smiles. Relax, the bait is out. Now we just wait for the big fish. Later, he meets up with Fan Kung to recap the situation. Some hacker just hit the decoy network, probably those hi-ha guys. Expect some company soon. He sharpens his blade with focus and asks, "What is the plan?" The other guy rubs his chin, thinking hard. They only got the fake intel, but they know we're here now. Our cover is blown. I say we pack up, grab the gear and the documents and ghost this place, but let's take out as many enemies as possible before we go. Fan Kung drops his cloth and grabs his massive sword. He stands up, showing off his massive buff frame. Fine. Just tell me who to kill. Dawn breaks over the mountains as a new day hits Crow Forest. The system's like an early bird, chirping out notifications first thing in the morning. Han Xiao checks his messages. Scout Mission 1 is complete and you just earned 3,000 experience points. Nice. It looks like the mission is finally making some real progress. He sits up, scratching his bedhead. So what'd we get last night? Lin Yao leans on his hands and reports the situation. We got the base location, but those guys were just low-level grunts with zero access to top-secret files. He slumps over, poking at his keyboard. Yeah, that's pretty much the whole haul. Han Xiao gets the picture. No surprises here. If it was a major score mission, 2 would be finished. He orders them to pull back and get out. Suddenly the door flies open. You hear them before you see them? Yo, Department 13. Win spins a USB drive on her finger, acting all smug. We just scored the ultimate intel on Dark Crow. Yeah, Fan nods. Mission accomplished. The rest of the crew just stands there totally frozen like statues. The old man's voice is dry. You seriously got every piece of intel on them. Yafan pulls off his hat, grinning ear to ear. Yep, plus we snagged ourselves a prisoner. Mission is over, get your people back home, compile all that intel, and just hand it over to the military. Han Xiao pulls his mask back on, shooting them a cold, suspicious look. Something's off. Mission 2 isn't showing as complete, this intel. It's gotta be a trap. He turns to the pair to confirm. You're positive this info is real? Give me the play-by-play. I need every detail of the operation. Win doesn't even hesitate. Duh, obviously. But inside that cramped little room, her voice sounds a bit shaky. Han Xiao rubs his clean-shaven chin, looking down with doubt. Don't you think this all went a bit too smoothly? You might have just grabbed fake intel, but she's not having that. She fires back at him immediately. Nothing suspicious. We were just prepared. Those guys couldn't handle us. They stood zero chance against our attack. Win smirks, totally gloating. This time we definitely won. You're just being paranoid like always, man. But still cannot accept it. Got any actual proof? He stares her down and drops one word: intuition. She just sticks out her tongue and makes a total freak face. Deep Fam realizes things are getting a bit too much and literally drags the guy away so they can chill. Look, being cautious is fine, but without proof, you are just tripping. Recon mission is officially over. We all pack up and head out tomorrow morning. Han Xiao stays quiet while they talk. Without evidence, arguing is a waste of time anyway. He shoves his hands in his pockets, deciding he will handle this solo. Another moonlit night in the woods with a nice breeze. Honestly, it is the perfect vibe and place to get into some serious trouble. Just as expected, bullets tear right through the soldier's armor, sending him to the afterlife to join his buddies, who are already face down in the dirt. His fingers keep rhythm on the trigger like he is chasing a high score by popping heads. Han Xiao grips that sniper rifle like it is part of him. He checks the system notification floating in his vision. It says he just neutralized a Germinal reconnaissance guard. 500 experience points gained, Forest Assassin mission complete. He can practically see the level up numbers flashing in his brain. That is enough dead guards for now. The base will definitely send a search party soon. He drops the gun, crouches behind a boulder, and listens for any incoming footsteps. Han Xiao pulls out a razor-thin wire, wraps it tight around his knuckles, and gives it a sharp tug to test the tension. He spots the target, a guy named Talamander, who actually looks like he is paying attention for once. He lunges from the shadows, looping the wire around the guy's throat. Talamander tries to turn around in a panic, but it is too late. Han Xiao pulls with everything. Talamander claws at his own neck, gasping for air, as some nasty fluid starts leaking from his mouth. All he can manage are these gross, wet, choking sounds. Just like that, the guy goes limp and checks out for good. He is officially on his way to meet the Reaper. Han Xiao flips the body over and starts looting like a pro. He taps his forehead to trigger the optical mask, and a glowing blue light scans Talamander's face. The radio sitting on the dirt starts buzzing with incoming reports from the other guards. Hotel 103 reporting all clear northwest. Hotel 14 reports all clear southeast. Hey, Hotel 23, why are you quiet? What is your status? Han Xiao, now looking exactly like Talamander, casually picks up the radio to give them the answer they are looking for. Hotel 23 reporting all clear, he says, while secretly doing a victory dance inside. Man, I did not think this face-copying mask would come in handy this fast. The whole squad of soldiers bundles into a bunch of off-road trucks, engines roaring as they prepare to move out. Spot any enemies? Nothing. One of the leaders calls it and orders everyone back to the base. Time to head back to the germinal facility. Dark Crow Valley Base. 2 people are trekking across the glass bridge between the towers. Jijai turns back to ask the woman following right behind him. 13 guards were taken out. These guys got the intel and they are still hanging around the perimeter. This team of infiltrators is way more cautious than we expected. She just gives a cocky smile. Honestly, it does not matter how careful they are when they are up against a genius like you. They're going to walk straight into your trap like good little boys. He pushes his glasses up his nose and calmly starts issuing his next set of orders. The big boss already set the exit route. Our backup gets here in 5 days, and then we're finally out of this hole. He keeps walking and tosses one last instruction over his shoulder. Before we leave, let us make sure we leave a nasty surprise for those Star Dragon soldiers. Back on the other side of the Dark Crow Valley base, the scouting party finally rolls back into the compound. Han Xiao scans the area, brain working overtime. The second recon mission still is not flagging as complete. There has got to be something weird going on inside this base. He watches the soldiers scurrying around like ants with suspicion. It looks like the logistics crew is packing up to leave while only the rear guard is sticking around. Wait, that is not right. After the breach yesterday, they have had more than enough time to evacuate. So why are these guys still hanging around here? One of the guys carrying a crate asks the group if they have gotten the retreat orders yet. He heard the Star Dragon military definitely found their location. Li Bin looks up and nods. Yeah, the brass said. The forest scouts went radio silent. Looks like this whole thing is finally about to kick off for real. He looks over at Han Xiao, who is just chilling with his hands in his pockets. Hey, Talamander, you guys were just out on patrol. Did you see anything weird? Han Xiao narrows his eyes. Okay, so Talamander is my new name. Got it. He just shrugs his shoulders and gives them a totally fake, helpless look. Things are looking pretty rough out there. Most of the guards on the perimeter got wiped out. That quick chat just gave Han Xiao a whole new set of ideas. These regular grunts probably do not know a single thing about the actual secrets hidden in this base. I need to find someone higher up. He plays it off by acting super jealous, saying how lucky those logistics guys are for getting to leave this dump early. Suddenly, the head of security for the base, a guy named Doman, shows up out of nowhere with his arms crossed, looking all serious. Hey, do you guys think this is a vacation? Get back to work and move these crates? Han Xiao pulls his cap low and keeps his head down while spying. That is Doman. If this base is hiding something big, a guy like him definitely knows the truth. Han Xiao raises his hand and says he needs a bathroom break. Li Bin just rolls his eyes and scoffs. Typical. Always trying to find an excuse to slack off and avoid doing any actual work. He trails Doman from a safe distance, staying low. He follows him through a series of freezing narrow hallways, staying quiet as they wind through the back of the base. He is creeping around like a wife ready to bust her cheating husband in the act. But he blinks for a second and loses the trail. Han Xiao stares at a basic storage room door, scanning the dusty shelves while realizing his target just vanished into thin air. He slips inside and looks around. There has to be a secret door in here. Where is it? I cannot hang around here forever. Explaining this to anyone would be impossible. He deploys his little spider scout bots and pats himself on the back 800 times. Who knew these random gadgets he built for fun would actually save his neck today? Han Xiao plops down on the stairs and glues his eyes to the tablet. The feed comes in crystal clear, looking like a high-definition live stream right on his screen. Suddenly his eyes light up and he smirks like a villain who just won. A crack appears in this blank warehouse wall. 2 guys in suits walk out casually as he whispers to himself. Bingo. Definitely a secret door. He ducks into the shadows and watches them walk right past his hiding spot. These guys coming from a hidden exit definitely know something. He adjusts his cap with a confident grin, looking like he has already won the game. This base is about to lose all its secrets. As night falls, a few guards start popping up around the perimeter of the facility. Han Xiao is undercover, blending in near the entrance. Yunji and Shen Wu walk right by him without suspecting a single thing. A voice suddenly barks out, nearly making his heart stop. Hold it. It is just Wen Ding. He grips his gun and says sternly that nobody enters or leaves without business. He quickly uses a found ID card as his excuse. I just saw those 2 guys. They dropped their ID cards, so I'm going to return them and come right back. The guy totally buys it and tells him to hurry back. He follows them deep into the woods before finally speaking up. Hey guys, wait up. They stop and listen as he shows them the dropped ID cards. This little trick is working like a charm once again. They grab the cards totally clueless. Oh, thanks, man. When did we even drop those? Seeing them drop their guard, he whips out the knife from his belt. Shen Wu is so terrified he cannot even scream, just staring in pure shock. After a quick scuffle in the brush, Han Xiao successfully ties both of them to a tree trunk. Shen Wu finally snaps out of it, whispering that he is not from the base. Beside him, Yunji keeps shouting for help in vain. Guards. Where are those guards? Watching their little drama is starting to get really annoying. We are in the middle of nowhere. Scream all you want, nobody is coming. Now tell me every secret you know. Shenwu starts crying crocodile tears, claiming they are just low-level staff who know nothing. Another performance. He just sighs in disappointment. Fine. Tired of wasting time, he leans in close and puts the blade right against the guy's throat. I know the warehouse has a secret door. The guy blubbers, asking how he found out. Then there's only a piercing scream. The yell is loud enough to send birds flying. A familiar voice begs him to stop, promising to tell him everything. Who knows what went down, but Shenwu is out cold. Meanwhile, Han Xiao calmly checks his system interface. He shuts his eyes and touches his forehead where a glowing triangle mark suddenly appears. The system updates. Recon Mission 2 is complete and you have earned 8,000 experience points. He looks at the results with a satisfied smirk. So that is how it works. Next morning, the sun is blazing over the base. Lin Yao bangs on the truck, shouting for Han Xiao to wake up because it is time to move. Nialam looks totally over it, saying he probably is not even in the truck. Where did he go? On the other side of the truck, the Bai family asks the Division 13 crew for an update. Jiang Wei wipes his forehead and says they are staying until he returns. Tato is losing her patience after waiting so long, asking if this is really necessary. He makes a quick excuse, saying the guy has the car keys. After checking things out, Hai Lang reports back that the team is staying put. Deep Pham thinks it is weird. Were they not supposed to move together? Nobody is there. He rubs his chin, trying to remember that guy in the face mask. His name was Han Xiao. Hearing that familiar name, Win starts getting suspicious. It is just his natural instinct as an intelligence officer. Han Xiao. Yesterday, our intel could not prove he was lying, but now he is suddenly missing in action. He is acting super shady. Win hesitates for a moment before finally saying the one thing nobody wants to hear, undercover spy. Meanwhile, over at the Hai Xia Command Center, the place is crawling with guards who are armed to the teeth. Inside the command room, news breaks that a Division 13 agent never returned last night. Shocked by the gossip, he asks for confirmation just to be sure. Are you absolutely sure? Win asks calmly with his arms crossed. After we got the intel on Dark Crow Valley, he just vanished without a word. Deep Pham stands nearby and adds fuel to the fire, calling the guy's behavior extremely suspicious. S is still sitting stiffly on the couch, pretending everything is totally under control. Later, I will have the Star Dragon team check this, but discuss the intel first. She quickly replied that the prisoners used a lie detector to prove it is all true, and the files were all hacked from the enemy network directly. Hearing this, he could no longer act cool. He hurriedly ordered an immediate attack, saying any delay would cause trouble. After Deep Pham received the order, he just stood there completely frozen. She just stared blankly while he put on a desperate face. If they use the army now, a Division 13 agent left at the secret base will be in serious danger. A wicked little giggle echoed through the room, sounding completely and totally evil. Who cares if we sacrifice a couple of Star Dragon people for the strategy? He spoke those cruel words coldly. Since they are not our people, they definitely have bad intentions. Over in the forest where Han Xiao was hiding, it seemed like controlling those two hostages was taking much longer than he originally expected. He was starting to get really worried. This is not good. He was already way past his planned retreat time. The two guys behind him would not shut up. Are you that Zero who ran away? He yelled back angrily. Stop talking trash and just follow me. Then he reached out to adjust the antenna on his radio. After finally finding the right frequency, he spoke into it. Hello, Eagle Calling Sparrow. Please answer me immediately. The guy on the other end was Jiang Wei. He let out all his frustration from the morning and screamed into the radio. Forget being a sparrow man. Where on earth did you go? You were gone all night and everyone else left. We are the only ones left here waiting for you. Han Xiao's voice came through on the other side. I broke into the Dark Crow Valley base and found some top-secret intel. Old Man Bai heard that and rushed over to grab the receiver. What? In the quiet forest, only his voice could be heard as he spoke into the radio. He explained that Dark Crow Valley is split into inner and outer bases while resting on a rock. The inner base is where the core members stay hidden deep inside the mountain. Intel from the inner base is kept secret from everyone in the outer base. Those inner base tunnels can be permanently sealed off at any moment. Hearing Han Xiao's voice on the other end made Old Man Bai break into a cold sweat. The inner base has multiple escape routes, so core members can vanish without anyone knowing. A second later, he called the commander. Commander, we have news from Division 13. Sa agreed to take the call. Patch him through. He picked up the receiver and spoke calmly. This is me. What is going on? Old Man Bai did not want this hot news to get cold, so he acted as the middleman. One of my team members found some secret intel and really needs to talk to you directly about it. Sot listened and kept a cool face while simply saying, oh, I see. But deep down, he was dying to find out everything he could. He said, beyond all this, I'm curious where you actually got this intel from. On the other end, he did not care who was listening and just reported calmly. I easily broke into Dark Crow Valley. After hearing about the two captured insiders, he immediately snapped back. You are lying. Hearing that he stayed quiet for a moment. His mind was racing, thinking that the Hai Ha people definitely believe it is impossible for me to infiltrate. I got intel from the Germinal base, and it is obviously true because of my secrets. They do not know I can change my appearance. This simulation mask is my ace, and I cannot reveal it. Old Man Bai noticed how tense things were getting and jumped in to ask a question. Do you have any evidence to prove this intel? Han Xiao just answered bluntly, I caught 2 prisoners. S was totally bored of hearing it and just gave the order for them to come back. Old Man Bai sighed, looking completely and totally drained. On the screen, S leaned his hands on the table with a sinister look on his face. Send out the order. Move the troops. The target is Dark Crow Valley Base. Crow. After hearing that his face froze and he lost his cool, screaming at the top of his lungs into the radio. I do not agree. My people are still near Dark Crow Valley. If you attack now, you will put them in serious danger. S coldly replied that it was not his call to make. Then he slammed the receiver onto the table. On Han Xiao's end, he just heard a dial tone. He thought to himself that this commander is just desperate to take all the credit. He could not afford to waste another second of precious time, so he quickly packed his gear. He yanked the rope, dragging the 2 prisoners along as they hurried away. I do not have much time left. I need to get out of the combat zone before the Hai Ha army launches their attack. As the sun slowly began to set, Ya Lin and Lin Yao were still standing there, waiting for him to return. Once they finally saw his shadow appear, they relaxed and started asking him questions. Han Xiao, are you all right? Han Xiao took heavy, slow steps while dragging the 2 hostages along, looking completely and totally exhausted. His face was drenched in sweat as he struggled to tell Lin Yao about the Rambus plan. You 2 take their ID cards to get into the inner base. We still need to find out the germinal retreat plan. Lia Lin, drive me closer to the base. I need to get busy making the prisoner masks. Lin Yao immediately protested, saying he had no experience being a spy and asking to switch. He patted his shoulder and said, you're the only hacker here, so who else can go? A little while later, the sky started to get dark. Over at the Bud organization, the side gate of Dark Raven Valley is crawling with guards. Lin Yao and Ram are rocking those hostage disguises. They're camping the gate. Lin Yao starts sweating, whispering, you sure they won't sniff us out? Ram tells him to keep it cool and not poke the bear. Stressing out is a dead giveaway. They creep up and swipe their stolen ID cards to unlock the door. The speaker crackles as the door finally slides open. Safe inside, Lin Yao wipes the nervous sweat off his forehead. Who finally in? Now it is time to get to work. They push deep into the heart of the base. Both of them are scanning the place. Lin Yao nods, seeing that Han Xiao's intel was actually on the money. This is the secret entrance Xiao mentioned. It is real. Suddenly a siren starts screaming like crazy. It scares the life out of them. Lin Yao starts losing it. What happened? Ram tells him to chill out. Relax, we did not trip the alarm. Suddenly he spots movement in the distance. Looks like someone is heading right their way. It is just Gigi casually walking the halls and dropping updates. Heads up, the Border Sea army is moving on the base. The guy just breezes past them without giving them a second look. Guards are moving to the perimeter. They will buy us some time, but we gotta bail fast. Once the coast is clear, Lin Yao starts whispering into his radio. Isha. Border Sea and the Bud are about to go to war. Everyone get out now. On the other side, Jiang Wei is absolutely losing his mind. Unbelievable. Those Border Sea snakes made their move early. We get them the intel and they just leave us for dead. This whole situation smells like trouble. Time to use the classic move and get the heck out. We are way too close to Dark Raven Valley. We are going to get shredded. Let is go. Before he can move, a noise makes his heart stop. We did not even touch anything. How did they find us? Na Lam lets out a terrified scream. We are busted. He slams the gas pedal and the car roars to life. The Bud troops are hot on their heels. Enemy spotted a soldier start spraying lead with a heavy machine gun. Bullets slam into the car, sounding like a string of firecrackers. The ride starts swerving as Han Xiao drives like a maniac through the chaos. Things are looking grim. Nya Lam yells, this is bad. They are right on us. He just points at the dash. Don't sweat it. I added a little booster to this baby. Her eyes go wide. You put a booster on this thing? Just as he is about to hit the switch, she grabs him to stop him. She screams at him, calling him a lunatic for trying to boost on a narrow mountain road. You want to kill us all? She ignores him and yanks the wheel toward the mountain path. The bullets keep chasing them down. Running away isn't going to cut it forever. Han Xiao grabs a suitcase and barks orders at the crew. Jiang Wei armor up. While the car drifts around a sharp turn, Jiang Wei frantically starts suiting up. He steps out looking like a total beast. He's covered head to toe in high-tech gear. He looks ready to take on everyone solo. Jiang Wei pulls out the heavy heat and starts spraying. A literal wall of bullets flies back, shredding the Bud organization's chase vehicles. He flips his visor up to admire the mess he made. Then he keys his comms, sounding satisfied. This upgraded armor is a beast, totally worth the $360,000. Comms crackle back, duh. But the fight isn't over. A scream kicks off the next round of chaos. Fire on the mech. Bullets whiz past Jiang Wei's head. He ducks behind his shield fast. As soon as the heat dies down, he returns fire. Their convoy can't take the pressure and starts blowing up. Massive fireballs and smoke clouds fill the sky. When the smoke clears, a whole new wave of reinforcements is waiting. He sits there watching, thinking this is getting ridiculous. How many of these guys are there? Might as well test those new timed grenades. Han Xiao pulls out his latest invention. He carefully fitted every single timed grenade with its own little flight engine. Because of that, they track the enemy down once they are activated. When the timers hit 0, it is game over. Massive explosions rock the earth, sending soldiers and vehicles flying high into the air. Han Xiao just watches the show. The system screen starts lighting up with loot. You killed 8 soldiers for 5,000 XP. Destroyed a transport for 2,000 more. He's feeling pretty good about this haul. A bit later, the Border Sea vehicles finally roll up in a massive swarm. A soldier sees the wreckage and gasps. Good lord! One tiny car took on an entire army and absolutely wiped out half of them. What kind of insane firepower is that anyway, man? Up ahead, explosions are still popping off with wreckage scattered everywhere. S watches the monitors while folding his hands. Yeah, flood them with fire. Wipe them all out. A rocket streaks across the sky on the commander's word, followed by a deadly barrage of missiles, setting the stage for total chaos in the next skirmish. Han Xiao's eyes widen in terror. This is bad. He barks at the squad to bolt as Li Yalin slams the gas pedal. Thank God for the boosters, they barely made it. The missile impact leaves a massive smoking crater in the scorched earth behind them. Nearby cars are turned into scrap metal. Only Han Xiao's crew walked away from the blast without a scratch. He stares at the wreckage, absolutely fuming. These Hesla jerks just tried to vaporize us. On the monitor, a voice chirps with pure joy. Awesome? 2. To watch as the screen adding looks like they are still kicking. The old man sees his guys nearly get smoked and screams into the comms, you cross the line. Wait until Department 13 hears about this. Smot looks unapologetic, even bored. Look, I don't take advice from Star Dragon punks. Just get them to a medic and quit whining. The soldier snaps to attention. Yes, sir. Meanwhile, back at the Hesla logistics camp, Han Xiao is getting patched up. He suddenly bolts upright to leave, but a voice stops him cold. You are not leaving. The colonel wants you here. Han Xiao narrows his eyes. This is house arrest, plain and simple. He snaps at the guard, the colonel. I don't give a damn what that guy wants. The soldier just shrugs, following orders. Our bosses told us to keep an eye on you, so you would actually get some rest, okay? He looks down, thinking. It is obvious old Chi is not going to let him gamble his life on the front lines anymore. Fine. He plays along for now and grabs the radio, tuning the frequency. Hey, Lin Yao. You still breathing over there? Lin Yao groans about his rotten luck. Still here, unfortunately. Han Xiao cuts to the chase. What is the status? Outside, Hesla and Germinal are locked in a brutal fight to the death. Both sides are just unloading lead into each other. Lambert is keeping watch, reporting to Lin Yao. The outer base is under siege. Everyone else is prepping to pull back. We have not pinned down their exact escape route yet. We will have to tail them to find out. He keeps listening. That Hesla base layout was fake. If they move on it, they are walking into a meat grinder. He glances at the Hesla soldiers. You tell them yet? The reply comes back instantly. Nope, you are the first person I called. Han Xiao smirks. Good. Keep it that way. Don't tell Hesla anything. Lin Yao is totally lost. Wait, why are we keeping them in the dark? Hesla tried to take us out. We almost died. Both of them are stunned. That is cold. They showed they wanted us dead so they can forget about our help. As they talk, things get uglier outside. It is a total bloodbath with bodies piling up in the dirt. Hesla tanks roll in, blasting away with massive explosions that rock the earth. Germinal's first line of defense is starting to crumble. Sensing the wind, the Hesla troops surge forward. One guy leads the charge, screaming at the top of his lungs. The base is right there. The others laugh. Germinal's defense is trash. That intel really paid off. Germinal is getting slaughtered. Men are dropping like flies on top of their dead friends, and the air reeks of blood. After a short fight, the guards are wiped out. Hesla pushes deeper. Outer base is clear. Follow me inside. But reality hits hard. A soldier accidentally steps on something hidden in the dirt. He looks back as the mines detonate. Hesla soldiers are ripped apart in a spray of fire. Panic sets in. It is an ambush. The tables have turned. Germinal was waiting for them. They took the bait. Open fire. A rain of lead pours down on the trapped soldiers. They're getting mowed down like grass. Don't retreat. Keep pushing. Kill them all. One guy will not quit screaming for revenge. Inside the control room, a scout watches the monitors and reports. The ambush worked, but plenty of enemies still made it inside. We have not finished the evacuation yet. Pan Kwang is not about to sit around. I will go handle them. I will buy us some time. The deeper they go, the deadlier the defense gets. It is a non-stop high-stakes shootout in the hallways. A shadow flashes past. It is Pan Kwang, the martial arts master, moving faster than the eye can see. The Hesla guys flinch. It is Pan Kwang, the Germinal executive. Even so, the order comes down. Shoot him. A blade against guns. Focus fire. Take him down. But they were dead wrong. Pan Kwang uses insane martial arts speed to slice through them. In a flash of steel, the entire squad is down. They collapse right there, bleeding out in the cold, hard dirt. Fan Quan sheathes his heavy blade, tossing a disgusted look at the trash he just folded. Way too easy. He walks away from the graveyard he just built. He heads out, eyes peeled. High-ha tanks are rolling in hot, but he doesn't flinch. He just charges straight in. His sword skills are legendary. One slash literally cuts their shells right in half. Suddenly, he is in their faces, diving into the chaos and tearing the battlefield apart. Before more bodies drop, the radio crackles. Everyone is out. Regroup now. He gives a quick okay. A survivor grabs his radio with shaking hands. Third company just hit Fan Quan. Third company wiped out. Win can't believe it. What? One man killed 200 soldiers. Their intel was a total joke. DFAM knows they are screwed. Their intel was definitely fake. Using themselves as bait? That's cold. C was too thirsty for a win. He should have listened to Han Tu. At Command C, here's the news. Massive losses for the army. The radio buzzes. Yeah, our intel was garbage. Maybe listen to Han Tu next time. But C is not quitting. Whatever. Small price for victory. Check every wall. If there's a base, destroy it. Inside, the soldiers are frantically searching. Is there a secret door we've searched for 2 hours? One soldier barks, digging through dirt. We would have found it by now. Hai Lang reports 0 secret doors found. He is done being nice. Bring me Han Tu. I have questions. Hai Long looks nervous. Logistics says he clocked 2 guards and vanished. Starlight says he never showed up. Salos is slamming his fist onto the table. You absolute morons. You couldn't watch one guy. Meanwhile, Han Tu's boosted a truck and vanished. He watches the GPS escaping casually. Want to catch me? Good luck. A truck crawls down a lonely road. Kui Tiet watches his crew impressed. The core team is out. Time for Hai Ha to open their gift. He hovers his finger over the big red button. He hits the button. The base explodes into chaos. The screen shows absolute carnage. C stares totally stunned. He radios his men immediately. Deep Pham, talk to me. Silence. Hello, are you still alive? He's not dead, but barely breathing. Cough. Base was packed with explosives. They blew it all. It is gone. So goes ghost white. The soldier whispers, our men are buried alive. Massive losses. Line goes dead. C's world goes dark. They walked into a trap. Meaningless deaths? The intel is ash. If he doesn't fix this, he is dead. But losing isn't in this commander's vocabulary. He orders a call to Department 13. Soon he is connected. You guys got anything for me? Trong Vai looks at Lai Nya Lam before answering. We have 2 people inside the enemy retreat. We will send their route soon. So can't wait. Tell me immediately. He's already plotting a comeback. His losses are mounting. Wiping out the enemy's core team is his only shot. He orders his troops to gather near Darktooth Valley and wait. Military trucks pull out heading for the target. Watching the base burn, Kui Tiet laughs at his rivals. Hai Ha got played like dogs, he sneers. But Fan Quan isn't celebrating. Stay alert. Nearby, Lam Du counts the enemy's trucks and soldiers. He taps his tablet. Suddenly, Tu Ha's earpiece starts buzzing. Any word on the route, he starts getting suspicious, takes a look, and boom. Spots something totally insane. Right in front of them sit those blue military trucks. It's obvious we're looking at the Hai Ha army. Little Ha doesn't waste a second and pings his boss. Bad news, sir, the Hai Ha army is attacking. But all he gets from the other end of the line is some glitchy static. He's freaking out, asking for backup since the signal's dead, but Dai Xuan's chill. Wait, let me boot this up. But before he can even blink, a sudden blast slams right into the military truck they're riding in. Nobody's walking away from a hit like that. Not even Dai Xuan, who was just acting all cool. Watching the smoke pour out from the wreckage, it finally clicks for Kui Tiet way too late, though. How'd these guys find us? Who's the snitch? Meanwhile, Fan Quang is busy dodging a literal wall of lead. Trying to wrap this up fast, the enemy lobs a bomb straight at their heads. He sees them prepping a bomb to blow them sky high. Realizing they're sitting ducks, Fan Quang grabs his teammate and dives out just in the nick of time. He sticks the landing like it's nothing but immediately shifts his weight to gear up for a big move. He literally slices that bomb in half midair, leaving Kui Tiet standing there with his jaw on the floor. But the party's not over. Fan Quang spots more trouble lurking. There are way too many of these guys. He eyes the convoy rolling in and realizes that if they get pinned down here, they're basically done for. It's a death trap. No time to second guess, so Fan Quang just grabs the guy by the wrist. He quickly breaks down the escape plan. Move it. We've got a plane waiting for us. Let's go. One after the other, they bolt into the woods, trying to lose the enemy in the thick brush. Suddenly, a weird noise from behind catches Fan Quang's ear. It's a lone vehicle out in the middle of nowhere. Turns out Han Tu has been tailing them this whole time, still clutching the binoculars he used to scout them. Aha. Target acquired. But he also realizes there's a serious threat breathing down both of their necks right now. A car's rolling up could be an enemy scout. We might already be in their crosshairs, so heads up. Fan Quang isn't giving up. He keeps pushing for a way out, pulling his buddy along and hyping him up. The woods can hide us. Keep moving while they're hauling it. That pickup truck stays glued to their trail. The truck pulls over near some high hills. Perfect spot to lay low and stay out of sight. Someone hops out wearing tactical boots. You can tell they've been prepping for this hunt for a while. Next, he pulls out a map of the hills and scans it. This has to be their only path out. Han Tu grabs his gear from the back of the truck, ready to face his targets at any moment. Inside the crate he pulled down are these weird-looking bombs all lined up and ready for action. He squats down digging with a shovel in one hand and planting mines with the other. Once the traps are set, he just dusts off his hands. Then he reaches for his sniper rifle with a smirk on his face. It's almost showtime, baby. With the rifle in his left hand and binoculars in the other, he just waits for the prey to show up. Deep in the woods, right where he's been watching Kui Tiet, finally hits his limit and collapses. I'm done, I can't move. But his partner tries to keep him going. Move it, we're almost there. The guy is clearly gassed, so he looks at his buddy and makes a pathetic request. Just carry me, all right? But before he can finish, a bullet whistles through the air, right past their heads. Thanks to some insane martial arts reflexes, Fan Kuang manages to dodge the surprise attack just in time. But what happens next leaves him absolutely stunned. His eyes are wide and his jaw is practically on the ground. Turns out the bullet he dodged slammed right into his best friend, the very guy he was trying to protect. Back on the hill, Han Tu was feeling himself after that shot. Target down, mission accomplished. Total damage 100%. You earned 40,000 experience points. Fan Kuang grinds his teeth as he holds the bloody, broken body of his friend glaring back at the shooter. He stares at the mountain knowing death is hiding in that peaceful view. More shots ring out, so he leaves his friend behind and charges ahead with his sword. On the other side of that mountain, the scene is quiet and pretty, with plenty of rocks and trees that make for the perfect natural hiding spots. Fan Kuang was tearing down the road like a man, possessed trees blurring past him in a green haze. He growled under his breath, "You ain't getting away this time, punk." Even the grass could feel the death vibe rolling in, bending low like they were trying to hide from the coming storm. Han Xiao was hunkered down behind a boulder clutching his sniper rifle. He heard those heavy boots pounding the dirt and thought, dang, Fan Kuang is already here. That dude is fast. He pulled the trigger, and the bullet ripped through the trees, leaving a trail of sonic rings shimmering in the humid forest air. Fan Kuang jerked his body sideways just in time, his bloodshot eyes locked onto the spot where the shot came from. Han Xiao wanted this guy dead before he got close, so he sent another round flying. This one grazed the big guy's shoulder. But this villain wasn't some amateur. Even under a hail of lead, he was dancing around bullets and actually swatting them away with his blade like a total boss. Han Xiao squinted through his scope, giving the guy some credit. His footwork was legit way better than your average thug. Even while swinging his sword like a madman, Fan Kuang spotted his target. He bared his teeth and stared him down with pure hatred. Realizing the gig was up, Han Xiao ditched the sniper rifle. He bolted in the opposite direction but kept a sharp eye on Fan Kuang, who was hot on his heels. The big guy grinned, thinking he had his prey cornered. "Oh, now you want to run too little too late, kid?" Han Xiao saw the guy wouldn't let up. And honestly, that was exactly what he wanted. Hook, line, and sinker. He dove behind a massive rock to break line of sight, then whipped out his tablet and started tapping like a pro gamer. Fan Kuang skidded to a halt, sensing a trap way too late. In the blink of an eye, the landmines under his feet went kaboom! The blast tossed him into the air like a rag doll. He crashed back down, coughing up blood and rolling through the thick black smoke. Han Xiao watched from cover, checking his battle log. His time dilation grenade hit for 34 damage. After calculating defense mitigation, the numbers looked pretty solid. Total damage for the second blast clocked in at 37 against Fan Kuang's health bar. Fan Kuang was now officially in a lightly wounded state. He scanned the guy's stats, but the level gap was just too huge. He couldn't get a full read on the boss's actual power level. His fingers flew across the interface. The system popped up a prompt: spend 520,000 experience points to hit level 28. He slammed that confirm button. Level up. Han Xiao cracked his knuckles, feeling his stats skyrocket as that sweet power surge hit his veins. He felt the raw power coursing through him and started doing the math. The guy is 10 levels higher, but he is seriously weakened. This is my chance to end him. The smoke started to clear, revealing a totally empty and abandoned patch of dirt. Suddenly, a blood-soaked Fan Kuang lunged out of the remaining smoke, heading straight for Han Xiao. He loaded all his strength into his legs and vaulted into the air like a rocket. Mid-air, he gripped his blade with both hands and swung it down in a massive arc, the force looking like it was about to slice reality in half. Han Xiao dropped low and slid across the ground, narrowly avoiding the hit. Fan Kuang gritted his teeth, shocked. How is he that fast? He couldn't believe his ultimate strike missed. Han Xiao just stood back up, totally chill, and reached into his jacket pocket. He whipped out a handgun and started unloading lead directly at the big guy's face. Fan Kuang was quick, though. He used his sword to create a shimmering defensive shield. Han Xiao started to sweat, realizing his basic bullets weren't going to pierce through that massive barrier. Dang it, his physical resistance is way too high, he muttered. Standard guns won't work on this guy. He slapped a fresh magazine into the pistol, switching over to his custom high-heat incendiary rounds. Fan Kuang just laughed at the kid's guts. You really think you can reload right in front of me? You're dead. Never underestimate your enemy, but the big guy went for it anyway, leaping high again. Han Xiao looked up, wondering if the guy finally landed a hit. The sword actually connected this time, the sheer force of the blow knocking the wind right out of Han Xiao. But getting a hit didn't make Fan Kuang happy. In fact, he looked like he'd just seen a ghost. The blade hit Han Xiao like a toothpick hitting a tank. He was standing there without a scratch. The guy stammered, "Where the heck did that armor come from?" Han Xiao didn't have time for a chat. It was officially his turn to go on the offensive. Han Xiao vaulted into the air dual-wielding pistols, while Fan Kuang just stood there frozen in his previous attack pose. From above, he crossed his arms and unleashed a rain of bullets. The big guy just sat behind his shield smirking like it was all a joke. "Useless," he muttered. But karma is a beast. This new batch of high-heat rounds tore right through his defensive energy field like wet paper. Fan Kuang's face went pale, his eyes bulging out of his head. Wait, what? He tried to scramble away, but it was way too late. Real flames started licking at his shoulder as he dropped to one knee, screaming in pure frustration and agonizing pain. Nice try. Han Xiao looked down at him with zero respect. The guy was actually trying to force the heat bullets out with raw strength. Your level isn't nearly high enough for that stunt, buddy. Sweat was pouring down the villain's face like a broken faucet. He is freaking out. What kind of bullets are these? He rips off his flaming shirt, mind spinning like crazy. His defensive energy is bottoming out. He needs to end this fight right now or he is toast. He springs forward suddenly, launching his body through the air. Fan Kuang ignores his burning shoulder and puts everything into a massive overhead strike aimed straight for Han Xiao's skull. Han Xiao levels his gun, but the weapon just clicks. Out of ammo. The tiny slip-up is all the opening his enemy needs to move in for the kill. The blade bites deep and he hits the dirt like a sack of bricks. Han Xiao is a bloody mess on the grass, his mask shattered and gone in the chaos. The system alerts are screaming. His simulation mask has officially hit 0%. Leg armor is trashed. He decides it is time to go all out. Reaching back, he grips his sword hilt. It is do or die time for this showdown. Han Xiao pushes himself up, white-knuckling the hilt behind his back. With his face exposed, his eyes are screaming pure, unadulterated murder. Fan Kuang's eyes go wide as he recognizes the face. "It was you all along!" He screams, swinging his blade with everything he has got left. 0. So this is 0. Han Xiao gritted his teeth and raised his platinum combat blade to block the incoming strike. The sun dips behind the mountains, casting a few final bloody streaks across the clouds, as if the day itself is checking out of this fight. Deep in the woods, the standoff is intense. Han Xiao decides to strike first and swings his heavy combat blade in a vicious arc. Even though he is messed up, Fan Kuang manages to dodge the blow. He glares at Han Xiao with a twisted grin. Picking a melee fight. You in a hurry to die. Sweat pours down Han Xiao's face as he gasps for air. Those time warp grenades and high heat bullets have already chewed through half of the big guy's health bar. Switching tactics, he lunges forward to grab the guy's bicep. If he can just keep the pressure on, he knows he will find an opening eventually. Like a bolt of lightning. Han Xiao maneuvers into a rear naked choke, locking his legs around the guy to keep him pinned tight. He squeezes with everything he has got, cranking the enemy's head back until the neck muscles are screaming. Fan Kuang freezes for a second, but he is no amateur. He snaps back to reality, grabbing the titanium arm around his throat and throwing a look of pure contempt. "You think this weak grip can hold me?" He bellows a war cry and flexes, tossing Han Xiao off his back like a pesky fly. Han Xiao goes flying into the trees, his back slamming against a trunk with a bone-jarring thud. Fan Kuang presses the advantage, gripping his sword with both hands and charging. He puts every ounce of strength into a lethal overhead swing. Sinking his weight, Han Xiao holds his blade horizontally with both hands, bracing for the impact of the heavy strike. Using his years of combat experience, Fan Kuang twists his blade mid-swing and carves a nasty line right across Han Xiao's arm. Even without blood, the force of that hit leaves Han Xiao's arm vibrating. He clutches the limb, his face twisting in a flash of genuine fear. That hurts. If this mechanical arm was not reinforced with titanium, it would have been snapped like a twig. He bounces back up, leveling his blade. While waiting for the next move, he sneakily shakes out his numb arm, trying to get some feeling back into it. He loads up his legs and launches himself into the air. Han Xiao brings his blade down with everything he has got, and Fan Kuang reflexively raises his own weapon to block. Sparks fly as the metal clashes, but this time the big guy's legs are actually wobbling under the pressure. Han Xiao definitely notices. He is doing a victory dance inside because the guy's strength is clearly starting to fade. Looks like he pushed too hard and his stats are finally tanking. The counter is working. His leg armor is still holding on for now, so he needs to keep the pressure up. He does not hesitate and starts raining down a flurry of strikes. They trade blows in a brutal melee. Fan Kuang is gasping for air, now hunched over and drenched in sweat as his energy hits rock bottom. A smirk creeps onto Han Xiao's face. The guy is exhausted. This is the big break he needs. He quickly taps his interface and selects a specific card from the holographic display floating in front of him. The card snaps into his fingers. With a look of total confidence, he activates the Hela character card. Instantly, a glowing red eye opens right in the center of a massive cross. Fan Kuang freezes as crows swarm around him. He screams in disbelief, realizing this is Hela's signature ability. Golden chains move with a mind of their own, coiling around his neck while he stammers out questions about a dead man. How is this even possible? Before he can react, Fan Kuang is wrapped up like a mummy and pinned against the glowing cross. He squeezes his eyes shut, jaw-dropping in either pure agony or total humiliation. Han Xiao calmly adjusts the card in his hand, his mind running through the final calculations. A martial artist of this level cannot have an intelligence stat over 50. The system confirms his theory, scanning the enemy's mental capacity as we speak. With the confirmation, he clenches his titanium fist. Massive energy surges through his arm, radiating golden heat waves as he activates his super weight ability. Han Xiao winds up and delivers a thunderous punch right into the center of Fan Kuang's face. The guy's eyes shut tight as blood sprays from his mouth. The impact is so explosive it sends him flying through the barrier, skidding across the dirt like a rag doll. He dragged his mangled body up, struggling to stand. Teeth grinding, pure hatred radiated from his eyes like a physical force aimed right at him. They say only a wise man like Trang Tuan Kiet knows when to fold. Han Xiao did not stop grabbing his blade and charging forward. From behind, he drove the blade straight through Fan Kuang's back. The sharp steel tore through his chest and bit the dirt blood splattering across the cold metal. His mouth hung open, but no sound came out. Han Xiao pulled the blade from his back, leaned on his knees, and let out a heavy, tired breath. The system flashed the kill. You defeated level 38 Fan Kuang, gaining 21,000 experience points. A 10-level gap bonus increased experience by 280%. Suddenly he pursed his lips, eyes locking onto something in the distance. Hui Lang's face popped up on the corpse's radio, sounding urgent. Fan Kuang, have you guys pulled out yet? In a sun-drenched room, a computer sat wide open on a neat desk, glowing in the light. Hui Lang stared at him and screamed in a rage. Why is it you killed Fan Kuang and Lai Tiet? Through the high-def screen, Han Xiao flashed a bright smile and a sarcastic greeting. Hey there, long time no see. The man in the chair sat stiff, fists clenched in fury. Where did you get the intel on Dark Crow Valley? He just shrugged with total indifference. Guess. Hui Lang tried to stay cool while dropping threats. You really think these petty tricks are enough to weaken our organization? How naive. He ignored him, holding up 4 fingers to taunt the guy. Add this up. I have already wiped out 4 of your bases. Hui Lang gripped the table, ready to explode. Like a bug against a windshield? I can crush you whenever I want. This organization has endless enforcers. You won't be free for long. Han Xiao just repeated himself slowly. I already took out 4 of your bases. Veins popped on his arms as he laughed in pure anger. Whatever happens, happens, Hui Lang snapped, jumping up and smashing the computer off his desk. The wrecked machine lay on the floor among scattered papers. He roared for his men and soldiers appeared by his side instantly. He barked out a direct order, every word hissed through his teeth. Relay my command. Global hit on number 0. Raise the bounty to $5 million. At the edge of a vast forest, the wind whistled through the massive swaying branches. A notification popped up showing Han Xiao had perfectly cleared the Dark Crow Valley mission, even earning an extra 12% contribution bonus for his efforts. He scored 360,000 experience points. The mission to cripple Dark Crow Valley went so well that he could claim his rewards right away. Seconds later, Han Xiao stood frozen in his tracks. He looked like a protagonist realizing his girlfriend is the final boss. Since his performance was insane, the rewards were far better than anything he could have ever imagined. Plus 50% more experience and a special random talent reward with 3 different options to choose from. Massive energy boost, quick eyes, fast hands, and resilient mind. As a pro player, he carefully analyzed the stats. His top-tier performance had once again triggered an amazing random bonus reward. Lucky. Powerful vitality is for health, and resilient mind works for magic or psychic types. I do not need either of those right now. Choosing between the 3, Han Xiao finally made his move. Agility offered the biggest advantage for his long-range attacks. Quick eyes and fast hands fit him best. With a cigarette between his fingers, he quickly confirmed the attribute he needed. Once selected, the mission progress bar jumped immediately. His main quest progress increased by 1.8%. Han Xiao blew out a puff of smoke, feeling even more stressed than before. It seemed small, but the Dark Crow Valley base was a vital bridge for future players to join the Germinal faction. Wiping this base out could seriously slow down the faction's growth. The convoy rushed to leave before the sun went down, fearing that as soon as the light faded, more drama would arrive. C sat in the car, lost in thought. Since he led this mission and took heavy losses, the higher-ups were definitely going to chew him out. The leader glanced toward the vehicle parked right next to him. Like a quiet shore waiting for a massive wave, he figured he might as well claim Star Dragon's actions were all his idea. A sly smile spread across his face. After all, the Star Dragon crew would never find out what he actually wrote in his report. Suddenly, the car radio crackled with a new update. Report, we have found 2 dead bodies just up ahead. Everyone jumped out to check. The bloody scene made Safe freeze for 5 seconds. His heart felt like it was about to quit the game. 2 lifeless bodies were piled on top of each other. His deep voice shook with panic as he realized they were Fan Kuang and Lai Tiet. Lin Yao looked at this carnage and whispered to Ramus. Did Brother Xiao do this? Before he could answer, Nia Lin cut him off. Of course he did. Who else could have pulled this off but him? Taking on a Germinal Enforcer solo? Classic Han Xiao man? Even she was confused by his weird methods this time. Why just dump the bodies in the middle of the road? This is military credit, and now Hella's group is totally going to steal it. That massive reward had C smirking already. He could basically see his career taking off into the stratosphere. Perfect. Giving me the bodies of those 2 Germinal leaders, I will gladly take them. He pointed a cold finger toward the scene and ordered everyone around him to get to work. Where are my men? Load those bodies onto the truck now. The soldiers scrambled to obey, shouting back aloud, "Yes, sir!" They carefully pulled the bloody bodies apart. Suddenly, Hai Lang froze in his tracks. His eyes went wide as he realized something was seriously wrong with this picture. A landmine was buried deep under Fan Kuang's body. As it came into view, a terrified scream of landmine echoed through the air. All the soldiers panicked and bolted back toward their camp. "Get back! Move it now!" Walking away from a prize like this was not S's style. He shoved Hai Lang forward, demanding he go check it out. The blood-soaked landmine sat there in plain sight, exposed for the entire world to see. Even though he was terrified, Hai Lang had to follow orders. He crept forward slowly. His whole body shook as he reached for the mine without any safety gear. He used both hands to lift the bomb, trying to get a much closer look at it. That move actually helped Hai Lang realize something shocking. Wait, it is way too light. He held the bomb up with just one hand and started waving it around like crazy. This landmine is totally empty. Deep Pham let out a long sigh, his old heart feeling completely played by this whole situation. Who would pull a prank like this? That is just cruel. S heard those words and felt a sudden sting of embarrassment. He let out a dry cough. The Star Dragon Special Forces squad was standing right there, and they just could not hold back their laughter anymore. Nyalam did not care about the mood and just started laughing her head off. "Haha, this has Han Xiao written all over it for sure." All that authority he was flexing just vanished instantly. C was definitely not amused. What a pointless and stupid little game. Back to our lone wolf in the mountains. Han Xiao was carefully prepping his sniper rifle. He took his time picking the perfect spot to settle in, then raised his weapon and took a professional firing stance. A few seconds passed, then his finger squeezed the trigger. The bullet tore through the tall grass at a speed way too fast for the human eye to even track. Being a longtime military guy, S had developed some sharp instincts. He sensed something and started to turn his head toward the source. He did not realize that simple move would be his last before a bullet sent him straight to the afterlife. His lifeless body collapsed to the ground instantly without even a second to spare. The whole scene was incredibly haunting for everyone who was standing there at the time. The sun began to set, making the atmosphere feel even more gloomy. Back where Han Xiao was, white smoke still drifted from the hot barrel of his gun as a grim reminder. He just smoked a cigarette coldly without a single word of mercy for the evil man he just took out. Yep, you reap what you sow. Han Xiao started planning his next moves after finishing such a dangerous job. He originally joined Star Dragon just to dodge the heat from the Germinal organization. He used his strength to snap the electronic device in half. He had already managed to grab the advanced knowledge that Star Dragon was hiding. He stared at the tracking chip that was built deep inside the device's body. Star Dragon acted like they trusted him, but the phone they gave him was hiding a satellite tracking device. Han Xiao calmly pulled it out without a single second of hesitation.